two backfields and
Trade me a fucking running back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting the podcast off in disarray. Do not adjust your screens. That is Drewski.
Damn it.
Right now.
Happy birthday,
front
Drew.
and center. We just want to say happy birthday to Drewski, an on-the-money
Happy
sports
birthday, buddy.
legend. From the forum days to taking care of getting rid of the spam people, the fake joins.
The first man to be put on a currency bill in the history of On the Money Sports. None other than Drewski himself, celebrating his birthday today. Get your Drew Bucks today. Get your On the Money Sports forum points. If you don't know what those are at this point, then you ain't been around long enough. For those of you who have been around long enough, you already know what time it is. It's podcast night, and we're doing it live as only we can. It's On the Money Sports. Woo! Not just the Mega Powers, but the Free Birds, all locked in together for a special edition of On the Money podcast here. A little sprinkle of everything that's going on in the sports universe. Yes, there's no football, but there is OTAs, and there's training camp, and there's football news. Yes, there is baseball. There's been baseball all day long. The Philadelphia Phillies are currently up 4-0 on the Boston Red Sox right now in Fenway. We've got Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Eric, if you're listening, buddy, we were trying to agree with you the whole time last week. We weren't sure if you understood. But I hope that you tune in at some point, talk about some basketball, talk some fantasy sports, and everything else that you guys want to talk about as we are here live, kicking it. Get the beers off the ice, crack one open, sit back and relax. It's So Money. It's Mike D.
What up?
And Mikey's saying that he can't see the video. Hopefully I can. I'm about to look for
We're
it.
working on it.
Is this like
I got
is this what happened last week?
No, I got it.
All right, so we're live. We're live, pal.
We're live, pal.
Maybe it's just taking you gotta refresh real quick.
Yeah.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Whose page is it on? Your page or on?
It's on the On the Money Sports page itself. We've been running off of there for the last couple of months, and then share it from there onto the other pages. So if you're just tuning in right now, do me a favor, share, like, comment, keep sharing it, man.
Yep,
we need everybody to know that it's podcast night. We need everybody to know that
don't hide your kids, don't hide your wife.
We are the best damn thing besides sports themselves.
Woo!
Sitting next to two commissioners. Oh, yeah, brother. The Celtics stand. The ultimate hater is here. What's going on, Paul? Glad you're here. Had a dope conversation with you last week because we kind of mixed everything in last week, and Paul was a part of it. Like, not just talking basketball, but we sort of trickled into nostalgia mania too, and he went back and forth with us. So I'm appreciating the fact that he's one of the first guys to check in for tonight's podcast as we settle in and get busy. His team's getting ready to play. Tip off at 8:30, something like that. So, Old Money's still figuring out his gimmick.
It's annoying me.
I got it now. I'm sharing it to the masses.
All right, cool.
It's annoying me.
Mike D, Six Picks very own, bro.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been on the cast.
Too long.
Just life. Life has been kicking my ass, man. But I'm here. I'm happy to be here as always with my brothers, and we're ready to talk sports, man. It's gonna be a mix and match of everything today. We're gonna talk football. We're gonna talk baseball. We got baseball on the TV as we speak.
A smorgasbord. A smorgasbord. That's the word for it. What up, Julio?
We got
Free Birds
Phillies are up 4-0. The good old Boston Red Sox or Dead Sox.
The Sox.
Come on, Sanchez, get out of the inning.
You know what? First of all, I don't hate the Boston Red Sox as much as I used to. That rivalry is not what it once was.
Yeah,
there's better rivalries out there going on in sports right now.
I mean, I always hate all Boston teams, especially the Red Sox, but they just don't piss me off, I guess, as much.
That's the funny thing. I don't mind other Boston teams. It's more of a Red Sox thing. Like when it comes to, I appreciate Boston being a sports town.
I think for you it's a little different because you're a fan of different teams from different cities. As to where I'm a New York guy, right?
Yeah. It's
the way my dad beat it into our minds is you just gotta hate everything that is Boston related.
New York, Boston,
Boston related. You just gotta hate them.
Yeah.
I don't watch hockey. I hate the Bruins.
Root against the Celtics right now. Root against the Bruins.
Just because they're
Boston. Against the Red Sox.
Seriously.
Well, I was trying to throw a quick compliment in there for these Red Sox. I know that they're not the best right now, but I think that this Red Sox baseball team is maybe like a year or two away from being some hot shit.
I agree, man, because they actually have some good pieces on that team as far as hitting and pitching is concerned. So they have some pieces, but yeah, they're a year or two.
They pulled the disappearing act. They've been gone for a couple of years, and they're trying to figure some things out.
And that's always been kind of their forte too. We've literally watched the Red Sox win a World Series and then be last in the division the following year. And back to winning the World Series.
That was the year they were talking about that the guys were drinking beers in the dugout.
Yeah. Fried chicken, right?
They just completely checked
there was
out.
Fried chicken and beers.
All right, ludicrous. Like, you guys still have a job to do, man. But I mean, now that we play fantasy baseball, we realize that a lot of our players are drinking beers and eating fried chicken in the dugout because a lot of times you're not really getting shit out of anybody.
Right about that.
So, you know, you only hope that they're keeping it to a minimum. I know it's barbecue season out there, but just try to show up for your 4 at-bats and get me some points. To hell with the Red Sox. It's Phillies all day in the MLB.
Phillies over
Red Sox. Yeah, I don't hate Boston as much. I don't mind them right now because I understand that the biggest threat in the AL East to the New York Yankees is the Baltimore Orioles right now. They're here. You know, these ain't your granddad's Orioles.
We're playing the Royals tonight, right?
Yeah.
Third game.
Game 3 against Kansas City. We're doing the warm-ups right now. Kansas City's going with
little tidbit for the Royals. They actually lead the league in run differential, which is at like 10 or 12 or something.
Yo, we got a 4-0 lead, so I wouldn't mind watching Schwarber pop up.
They've only what?
They've only scored 3 runs against the Yankees the last 2 days, but they lead the league.
Who's that?
Their offense has been
so they lead the league in run differential, but we've held them to 3 runs the last 2 days.
Yeah, our pitching has been really, really good against one of the better lineups.
Yeah.
They don't look it last. I mean,
we've been good all year, but against a better lineup, we definitely seem to.
We're looking even better. Best bullpen in the MLB. That's right. Yankees all day. Orioles mascot is low-key racist. Boo Baltimore. It tastes funny. They said that Baltimore is the Yankees threat. Yeah, I mean it's. Listen, you gotta adjust with the times. You gotta know your enemy, and it's not. This isn't like before when the Red Sox and the Yankees were the powerhouses, and Baltimore was just getting smacked around by both of them. Like Baltimore's doing some of the smacking themselves.
Yeah, no, it's taking them a while, but their farm system is good.
They're
got
built good,
great young guys, and it's not going to happen for them this year, but it can happen for them soon.
They're going to be in the mix in the conversation because it's up to them to not screw the pooch.
Yeah,
because of what they have and all the young talent they have, and how. Now it's just a question of how long can you stay relevant? How many years? Because, Tampa Bay is clearly checked out. They gave away all their good players, and they're pulling their disappearing act, which we know Tampa Bay takes like 3 years off. They come back. They spend $30 million and go to the World Series off a $30 million payroll.
Damn, he just got under that. And he knows it. Look at his face.
Yep. Our division overall, the big issue for us is the Orioles because the Blue Jays are frauds.
Yes,
and they spent all last season
selling right at the deadline.
Oh yeah. That's another thing too. Like when it comes to the Blue Jays, when it comes to Kansas City, which now they look like overmatched right now. Kansas City's a good baseball team, but when it comes to them having to deal with us or the Orioles or the Guardians in their own division, like what's Kansas City got to be thinking right now as far as like how do we get better? Because
I don't watch enough Kansas City to really give a definitive answer as far as how my
Chris Jacoby does.
Yeah, I know he watches them a lot, man.
He said they shit the bed.
I don't know if it's a big bat that they need or just somebody just like a true shutdown ace, whether it be in
that's a triple
rotation, but if they
that's a triple.
If they can make the right.
Oh my God, is that going to be an inside? No, it's a triple.
Yeah, they at this point they know that they have what it takes to get into the playoffs. Now it's a question of okay, what can we do to not get swept when we have to deal with one of these teams because we basically just dealt with their top 2 pitchers the last 2 nights, Seth Lugo and Brady Singer, and Singer got roped yesterday. Seth had a better performance.
The Royals are like that upstart team that's trying. They're like
they're good. They turned it around. They don't suck.
I know they're like the Lions before they face like a San Francisco 49ers type team.
They're on the rise.
Yeah,
they're on the rise. And they're in a division where they just got to worry about the Guardians and maybe the Twins. So overall, it's like, And no offense to those two teams, but it's like those aren't powerhouse teams. Like
They're not.
Guardians
the Twins
are
have
good.
been playing good, with
Yeah.
the exception of when they play the Yankees. The Twins actually have been
Twins
playing
put a
decent.
shellacking on it was 17-9 against the Rockies because it's podcast day. So on podcast day you've got baseball at like 105,
Right.
which is always nice. So I was keeping up with everything that was going on today in the sport and keeping
The
tabs.
Astros are done.
Well, he said that we wet the bed against the Dodgers.
I mean, they
though.
could change things around, but I just think
I wouldn't just say we wet the bed. I think what killed us against the Dodgers is what's been ailing us all year, which is the bullpen. Honestly,
but I mean, even with that, like bullpen is still the best in the league. As crazy as it seems, like numbers wise.
Those nights where the Dodgers beat us, we actually just didn't show up as far as hitting goes, and we can chalk that up to Soto and us not being in the lineup. I don't think necessarily like I heard guys on the radio having a conversation about how the Yankees don't need Juan Soto. And
what was that? New York?
Yeah.
The New York radio? Just
and
talking.
The guy who said it was a Yankees fan. And I kind of understood what he was saying, but at the same time, like the only reason why we're like
debating that is because of the fact it's going to be a $500 million contract.
Well, I mean, and
you're looking
the young
at
guys that we have coming up. That's why it's
between
easy for
two.
him to say something like that. But this year, with this particular team, without Juan Soto, it's just 2022 all over again. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say like we don't need him.
Aaron Judge is on a heater right now, but still, now with Soto,
he's on pace to hit 62 again.
Just the fact that we're like our 2, 3, 4 hitters right now, 2, 3, 4, 5 is Soto, Judge, Stanton, Verdugo. It really makes a starting pitcher like
really
have to choose. It's like, damn, like I kind of want to walk 2 out of these 4 guys. And then you've got the guys like Grisham at the bottom of the lineup that are hitting, 3-run dingers.
Volpe's on base. So one of those guys that you just mentioned is bringing in Volpe to come home. So that's an RBI waiting.
Volpe started the game yesterday with a triple. Like the Royals are just in over their heads going up against us right now where, we need Juan Soto. The reality of the situation is that
I believe we do.
Keeping him.
I can understand the argument as to why somebody says we don't, but I really believe that we do. This team, what he's brought to the Yankees this year is infectious as far as like his work ethic, what he does as far as
the Royals pitcher just got pulled in the first inning. Dang.
He did. Oh, well, he's an opener though. He's an opener. That's what they're doing. They're doing.
They're running the bullpen.
It's a bullpen game. Yeah, they're doing a bullpen game. So the Royals might have checked out of this series. Maybe they'll get one because we play them again tomorrow at 2. But it's a bullpen game. 4 games. So we got 4 games against them. Tomorrow at 2 is the final, and then we are going to be the ones taking a trip to Boston to deal with these guys.
Speaking of Boston, now we know tonight is Game 3, right, of Dallas-Boston. You know what else is going on in Boston tonight?
What's going on?
The New England Patriots are inducting Tom Brady into their Hall of Fame, the Patriots Hall of Fame.
Thomas Brady.
And they're doing it today out of all days when the Boston Celtics are in Game 3 of the NBA Finals, and there's Boston fans talking about going to watch Tom Brady get inducted into this damn ring. And Boston fan, I mean, Eric, I'm not going to include you into this, but you Boston fans, you guys are a bunch of frauds.
The game is in Dallas, though.
Doesn't matter.
Moving the series over to Dallas,
there's people going to see Tom Brady being inducted into this Ring of Honor. That shit starts at 7:30. The basketball game starts at 8. Like, what are you guys doing? Who the hell planned that?
Someone smart?
No, that is not smart.
Someone who's realized they care more about.
I understand he has his fanatics, and it's kind of like the whole LeBron thing, where it's like he has his own separate fans. You know what I mean? And hell, there's some Tom Brady fans that are more fans of him than they are Patriot fans.
Listen to this. So, that induction was supposed to take place in some sort of hall. So many people wanted to be there that they're moving it to Gillette Stadium. And it's almost sold out at their football stadium to watch Brady get inducted into this damn Hall of Fame, knowing that their basketball team is literally 12 minutes away from starting the Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
And I'm sure the Garden is doing something where the fans can go watch the game there.
Fan, not a watch party. I know you ain't a Pats fan, dog. The Knicks fans. We know you're an Eagles fan, Paul.
Yeah, so it's easy for you to not tap in, but for like a pure Boston,
he got another rehab start today, Julio. He's playing. He might be playing right now, honestly.
Yeah, he's been looking good. He's gonna be back soon.
I can't wait. He's just on my IL waiting.
Noli's in the baseball chat right now, running his mouth like always about how they're 0.1% better than us. We have more wins though. We also have more losses, but that's what happens when you play one more game than the other team.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like the fact that
I'm looking for this Tom Brady.
we don't even have our ace that he's about to come back. And,
the Minnesota Vikings have named Sam Darnold starting quarterback.
Go ahead, JJ McCarthy. How's that?
You didn't know about that yet?
No, I didn't.
So we just broke news to Mike D.
Yeah, I didn't.
I love the reaction live
I
to
didn't
Sam
know that.
Darnold. Sam Darnold is currently QB1. We'll see how long that lasts in Minnesota.
Why is this guy on a tricycle? He's not even playing today.
Porzingis is on a tricycle in the backstage locker room area as we get set for tip-off of Game 3. A lot happening right now. Even though there's no football, there's just a lot of shit going on, like all over the place. And we'll do our due diligence to try to keep up with and talk about it all.
That's pretty big news to name this guy the starter in June.
Is
What
it?
have they seen from McCarthy that's that bad? They said that McCarthy was one of the most NFL-ready QBs coming into this draft.
They just paid
And
Justin
all of a sudden,
Jefferson.
Sam Darnold's the
Them
starting
ghosts are
QB.
in Minnesota too. Terrell has chimed in.
What up, Terrell? They just paid Justin Jefferson a shit ton of money. You think they want to trot the rookie out there? Or do you think this is a call more or less as far as who can run the offense better and McCarthy not being ready? Or is this
maybe that picture of Sam Darnold smoking that fatty on the golf course? Probably they were like, "Hey, let's give this guy a chance."
Like Sammy's a seasoned veteran now, bro. Like
he is.
He spent his time in San Francisco. Like I know he's learned a lot of shit.
Yep.
You know,
anytime you
paid
spend
his
away from the
dues.
Jets is always good for a person. And I think Sam Darnold's really to kind of like reclaim himself. Maybe have a Geno Smith type of year this year. So it's possible.
Maybe we finally detach him from the chaos of the team that drafted him.
Right.
You know, and just remove him from all that. Now.
This is his chance to be Geno Smith. This is his chance to kind of reclaim himself. This is his chance to.
I'm just going through the Twitter universe
to put on a show for other teams, so that way he can get paid.
Got the number one wide receiver in football, arguably. There's an argument for a couple. A good offense.
But a good offense. He got good pieces around him now. Again, JJ, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones now in the Minnesota Vikings. So they have pieces.
Yeah.
Will the QB get it to them is the question. But it's going to be interesting. That's interesting.
I believe McCarthy will be the starter by October, November.
So you don't see the Geno Smith
effect happening with Sam Darnold?
Geno Smith effect? That's what we got to call it now.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's he's not a bad quarterback, man. He's not Zach Wilson.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he is.
I mean, look at what the Vikings have had last couple of years with Cousins being hurt. You got Nick Mullins who was out there. They had that other kid that they trotted out there. So how much,
that can't get any worse, right?
Yeah. You can only get up from here.
So it's going to be interesting, that whole dynamic. And maybe this is just, like Oscar said, maybe they do just run Sam Darnold out there for 5 to 7 weeks and let JJ get a feel for how the game looks. Maybe
that division's loaded, guys.
No, dude. The Minnesota Vikings have no chance of winning that division within the next few years unless McCarthy.
One of the guys I work with, George Sokola, the older man I work with, says he thinks that might be the second best division in football.
It's going to be.
He thinks the Bears are going to be a solid 6-win team.
The spunky,
he said he goes, they'll probably win like 6 games, but they'll be down a couple scores, but you'll see improvement through the year. He said with the Vikings, he thinks McCarthy might be okay. He goes, he's not going to knock your socks off, but they've got too much talent around him not to be okay.
Damn,
but he said he thinks it's
no wonder they pulled the.
He thinks it's between Detroit and Minnesota, Green Bay. I'm sorry.
Well, we could see Detroit and Green Bay both get into the postseason like last year. With the Bears, I've sort of taken a step back as far as my praise of them. I got to see what the product looks like on the field.
Like, for example, when Keenan Allen caught that ball in practice, went, hell nah. I know everybody's seen that clip.
In Detroit, I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit makes another move, maybe for a defense.
Right now on ESPN,
kind of thing, because this is a big year for them coming off of last year.
NFC title appearance type of field to them this year.
This year, they just gave Jared Goff that big contract.
Yeah.
Goff has, 13 of the 17 games this year are all dome games. And Goff excels in domes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So controlled environment.
I think this is a big year for Detroit to solidify themselves in that division,
Controlled
to solidify
environment.
themselves in the league, and possibly take themselves to an NFC Championship.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The 4 games that are outdoors, 2 of them are your division.
Right.
the
Yeah. And
other one, I
those are
think the
teams
other
that you
one,
can
I think,
easily
is the
beat.
49ers. And I'm trying to think about who the other team is.
That's crazy.
Because
Detroit plays
they
this
play
year.
Dallas, but it's going to be in
Yeah, they only have that one part of
You know,
the stadium.
That would make home field mean so much more for Detroit this
Oh,
year
yeah,
if
big.
they were able to get the NFC,
Yeah,
because you could spend your entire season basically playing at home, and that be your ticket to
it's crazy.
maybe get over the hump on the NFC
the only
side.
ones that are in their way right now, besides the Packers being in their own division, is I think the Niners.
Yeah, well,
Detroit and the Niners got to be the best 2 teams in the NFC right now, I think.
It's a question of how they measure up with San Francisco this
You know
year.
who's seen the Detroit Lions being good?
Yeah, he was super supportive of them Lions.
I was 1 game away from them being in the Super Bowl like I predicted.
Yeah, a year ahead of their time. Now this year is a question of, can you get back to where you were last year, and can you learn from the mistakes you made last year in this same game?
I think they can, man. If anybody's going to have,
He's going to have to learn how to be aggressive and not be aggressive.
Yeah.
You can't just go for it because you want to go for it all the time.
I think he learned from
No
that,
one
though.
thinks you're all going to be that good this year.
Just
Stop.
get out of here.
That'll be all right. Eagles can get a wild
Middle
card.
finger emoji, ego emoji, all day, every day.
Eagles can get a wild card. I got to see what that line looks
They're
like.
a wild
without
card
Kelsey.
lineup.
9-8.
9-8 for
You know,
9-8
Hurts
for
is going to miss 2
yeah.
to 3 games like he does every year. You better hope, Mittens can hold it down. Or if he's going to fumble or he's going to spin into the sack.
I mean, Two Gloves might play like week 18 or something. But
Is Barkley going to make it the whole year?
even so, I don't see
Like,
Two
those
Gloves
are
playing.
legitimate questions. Nah.
Oh,
I don't see Two Gloves playing because Jalen Hurts and them, they're going to be fighting for their life to get into the playoffs. Like, every week is going to mean something.
But dude
for Philly
misses
this year.
games. In his career, he's never started and ended the season.
Oh,
He's missed an average of 2 games every season since he's been a starter.
Two Gloves starts a game, they're going to lose that game. So that's going to cost them potentially.
I hope it's against us.
It'll be against the Giants.
It's going to cost them. It might potentially cost them
It
dearly.
could cost them
But,
the division.
I'm not going to completely shit on them and say that they're not.
No,
they're gonna
they should
miss the
still win
playoffs.
games.
Like,
Their offense
Shout out
is
to Jerry West, too, man. RIP Jerry
R.I.P.
West.
R.I.P.
Yes.
Jerry West, man. The legend, the logo.
The logo.
Himself.
it's crazy looking at that image. The actor who played him in that HBO show, how he
Looks
looked
like
just
him, right?
like him,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
I didn't
That
watch
show was amazing.
No, it was a good show. It was
Yeah,
really
It
good
was
show.
only
I
2
didn't watch it.
seasons, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know why they killed it. I thought it was entertaining as hell.
I think I think Jerry West probably had a lot to do with why they killed it, honestly.
Really?
He hated the way he was being portrayed in that series.
Turn this shit off.
Yeah.
Turn this shit off.
He really did hate the way he was being portrayed.
Bro, he was amazing.
Nah, he was. Jerry West.
And
is
this
like-
guy is Jerry Buss was amazing.
Yeah. You know what's not amazing? The Lakers. So, and
Did you see there's some other guy now in line to get the head of some? Dude, I've
Yeah, 'cause the
never
first
even
guy
heard
said
this
no.
guy's
He's
name
like,
before.
F that. I
His
don't
name's
Bro,
like
my man
Thomas
called back and
Bargar or
yo,
something like that.
a lot of people said that they thought he was using the Lakers to get paid.
Back in
leverage
UConn.
his job.
I mean,
Please don't
Yo.
go.
if that's what he did,
We
kudos
know
to
you
him,
could
man,
take
because
the
UConn
job.
paid him.
Yeah,
UConn
they,
paid him. He stayed where
5
he wanted
years,
to be
70
at, and he
million,
got more
and he's
money.
got a chance to, go for a 3-peat.
Hell yes.
Smart man.
And he probably will get it.
And the
man.
problem
Leverage
is,
the deal to remain in a better situation.
you heard.
than
Well, the
Los
bigger
Angeles
news out of this
Lakers.
whole mess is that LeBron has unfollowed Perk.
Oh yeah, because
And LeBron has unfollowed Kendrick Perkins.
Perk was
funny.
cutting a little promo.
Bro,
on.
Perkins, and he's normally the pro LeBron guy,
Yeah,
but he finally said, "Yo, like I watched the thing the other day.
this ain't about you.
He goes, we're in the playoffs right now. We should be talking about the Boston Celtics and the
Yeah.
Mavericks. And here we are again.
Yeah.
We
Bro,
talking
I
about
hate that.
LeBron and the Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh well, it's news, and and
Nope.
and just like
Don't
they were,
care.
he
Don't
was
care.
going off, and he goes, listen, he goes, who gonna take the job when LeBron's the coach?
Who wants that job?
I was like, yo,
That's kind of true, man. Do you guys feel like this finals isn't getting a lot of recognition? Because I feel like it isn't, and I don't know if it's because I'm not really tuning in myself, but I really feel like I'm not hearing.
I've been
a lot
paying
about
attention to
finals.
my team's not in it.
I think
I mean,
I
our
don't
team's
care.
never in it, Oscar.
Yeah, I know.
Our team-
I think that
I watched last year's.
the apex of this year's playoffs was like when the Knicks and the Nuggets and the Wolves, like when those teams were still in the mix. And then slowly as we got to the Final Four, which was pretty lackluster overall, and then we got to this point right here, it's just like I think it's cool because I didn't see the Mavs getting this far, but like it's one of those things where people's interest is just veering off into other things. And I think baseball is getting a lot of attention right now. The WNBA is actually beating the finals as far as
Dude,
viewership.
that's wild. That's kind of why. I
Like,
asked that
everybody's
question.
mad at Caitlin Clark,
Oh,
but
dude, that thing is getting me so
it's-
agitated, bro.
The,
that thing-
like she
I
needs to
feel
listen.
so
She
bad
needs to
for that
man up
chick,
and just
bro.
take the hits as they come. But these other players need to chill out because everybody keeps saying it's bigger than her. Well, nobody was watching it before she got there.
Don't ruin it for yourselves.
Yeah.
You're jealous and petty.
These women are being so petty, bro.
You're
Like, I
gonna
don't
make
get-
the viewers that are
Just-
tuning in to see this tune off.
Understand she's the cash cow, right? You know, she's your Shawn Michaels right now. Times are tough,
Yup.
but just you gotta showcase her and understand that she's gonna get all of you more recognition and a bigger
Exactly.
payday.
She's Hulk Hogan of the '80s,
It's
and you're about to
business.
get
Like,
paid.
you gotta be smart
Yeah,
with
like,
it.
why aren't they
Can't be in
looking
your
at it
feelings.
like that? Is it like just a female thing? Is this
And
just
just
like
go beat her, like
Bro.
when you have the opportunity to go
I
beat
ain't
her
trying to-
on the court and shine against her, but at the same time understand.
All
like,
I'm gonna say
you know,
is
she's a star. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's
I mean-
no.
I love all my coworkers. I've loved, well, not all, but the majority. The most drama I ever was around was when I was working the bank. I was surrounded by women. Let me tell you,
it be like that?
one would talk about the other, and then they would be high-fiving each other once they were around each other.
Yeah.
The fact that
I don't get mad. Like, if you don't like me as a man, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you
not
know,
going to affect my day.
we're
So
just
I
wired
feel
different,
I don't
man.
want to sound like I don't want to come off like that. And if I'm wrong,
we don't feed into
hey,
those types
y'all
of
could
things.
be mad at me and stereotypical, but that's just my opinion on the matter. It just seems like the jealousy is running rampant. Okay,
That's a really bad
she's
look.
getting all the press, but yo, so this is how you need to look back at it if you're one of those other players. It's let her get her press, but we're playing too. So if I play good, they're also gonna notice me.
Showcase yourself.
That
And
chick
then
from
that
South
levels
Carolina,
me up.
I don't know what team she's playing for. I can't remember the team that she's playing for, but she's balling right now. She's actually having way better numbers than what Caitlin Clark is. doing.
Yeah.
A few girls are.
But
I will say, Caitlin Clark not making the Olympic team, I'm not mad at. Like, if you
Me
look at the
neither.
numbers,
I don't think she's one of the
She
top
would-
12
she would-
best players in the league
But
right
the thing
now.
is, she would be Team Italy.
yeah.
If
So,
it went by national, like you know,
Yeah,
she
I didn't
wouldn't
even know
even
she
be
was
playing
Italian.
for.
well, you got
She wouldn't be
Embiid,
playing
who
for
should
Team
be.
USA.
I mean,
Well,
those,
Embiid
the
over here
players
about to
always
play
kinda
for
like
USA.
pick and choose, I feel like, because like you said,
Right.
Embiid is
You have the
playing for USA
option.
now, but
You have the option.
she does. I mean, me personally, I've never seen her claim like walk around with Italy flags.
Yeah,
or
Also,
shirts like
Paul,
that
women
either.
are petty. Also, I was a
Yeah.
Caitlin hater in
Like-
college, but now she's my girl.
And at the
She
same
won
time,
you over.
Like, hey, Caitlin Clark, like, you got to understand, like, instead of complaining about how some of the calls and the physicality, you got to know, like, you are the face right now of this league. Just own that shit.
I mean,
These
they're
girls
kind
don't
of
like
treating her the
you.
way they treated.
Just-
I got
Tomlin.
another idea.
Just play, like,
Hit some elbows back.
That's what I would do.
like, kind of lean
Yeah.
into it a little bit.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
lean into it.
Yeah.
I would.
Like,
Give
after
it
you-
back.
after you
Start
make a
dishing
shot-
it out.
Yeah, after you make a shot, start talking some shit. Like, get in these
Yeah.
girls'
Yes.
heads because you already live rent free in their heads anyway.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And you already
Yes, that's
know
perfect.
that, like,
That's perfect.
you're the star. Like,
Yeah.
talk your shit and keep eyes on the product
Right.
and just give it to them back because then from there you're gonna get the respect of your league mates after you talk your
Her
shit. you
teammates
beat
don't
them.
help
I
her
think
up when
so,
she
too.
gets jumped to the ground.
You know, I
Which-
was gonna bring that too, though.
It's just
It's
petty, bro.
it's so the problem is so
Petty.
bad in the WNBA to the point where her own teammates don't even help her, bro. And it's
Paul
so weird.
just said the same thing. I didn't know about it.
Which is
Like,
wrong
so
and
weird, bro.
dumb.
Like, what do they
It's
do?
so
The
weird,
Indiana
bro.
Fever? Like, what were y'all
Why are
doing?
y'all mad at her?
What were y'all doing
She gonna
before
get you more
drafted her?
paid.
Like-
I don't get it.
You had the number one pick for a reason. Your team was terrible. So before Caitlin got there, what were y'all doing? Just,
Yeah, I don't get it.
you know,
I'll never understand.
In order to
Help
win this
her
game
help y'all.
tonight, Kyrie Irving cannot, like Alexi and me talked about it. Kyrie
be
Irving cannot be in the teens in points.
yeah, a little bit of a lackluster performance from
You say he
Kyrie
can't lead the
He
team
can't.
in points?
No, I'm talking about he can't be in
in
teens.
teams.
Like
Oh.
17 points, 18 points. Kyrie has to be 25 plus.
Well, the problem with that stat that you could just mention is that he's going 17, 18 points, and he's shooting 6 for 20. If he puts up, excuse me, if he scores 18 points and he's what?
Like this, another sloppy turnover by Luka.
If he's 6 for 12 or even 6 for 10, he just needs to be more efficient.
Yeah,
he needs to pick and choose his shots better.
But-
He needs to make them. Really. He just needs to be more
Bad takes against a defense like this that can turn it into points real quick. You know, next thing you know, you're down 6-7 possessions.
Right.
And,
Right.
you know, you're
And for somebody like him who's been in this position before,
Luka trying to draw the foul. I'm waiting for him to complain.
He always complains, man.
But
It's
with the whole Caitlin Clark situation, what's going to happen is you're going to wake a sleeping dragon, and she's just going to spaz.
I really hope so.
And then people are going to get mad at her for
lean into it.
reacting.
No, lean
Nah,
into
F
it.
that.
Like, you got,
I'm not.
you're gonna have a long career, hopefully. Like, get used to it.
You need to start letting them know this is what it is.
Took her
Yeah.
talents
I will
to-
say this:
to the
the
3-on-3
WNBA, from what I've seen, is more physical than the NBA.
It's crazy,
and,
right?
and also, like, you know, she also needs like a good supporting cast. Like, you need
Yes.
teammates that are gonna step up for you when things get chippy.
Yeah,
and,
man.
and
You think
Get your
Draymond
back,
Green
like-
would let someone do that to Steph?
they need an enforcer.
No, hell.
Yeah, that's what it is. They need an enforcer
Yeah.
because she
No,
is
Indiana
that.
has a lot of like revamping to do in their off season for sure. They need to get people who are down for Caitlin Clark, people who want to be her friend in a sense, and people who are just gonna rally around her. And she, you know, Caitlin Clark needs to make her teammates better. She needs to grow and learn and on her end too. But I think the women in that league are just going about this shit all the wrong way, man.
I mean, it's the league is heading in the right direction, but the players themselves are going to be the ones that could
Yeah,
potentially
they're
ruin
holding
it
back. Yeah,
because they're being
holding
super
back.
petty in their post game conferences and just talking shit on this girl when you need to showcase her.
Like the one girl who elbowed her. I'm not taking no Caitlin Clark out questions. Then why'd you do what you
Then
do on
why-
the
yeah.
court?
That's the only reason anybody has any reason to talk to you right now. Though.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not the star of your team.
Right.
It's the Reese
Her
chick
name's
that they
Kennedy, and
picked
it's
up.
spelled
Like,
Kennedy.
Paul,
Get outta here.
her team is dog poo too. They be missing wide open shots.
well, that's why they had the number one pick because they were you know the drizzling shits, and now you have the star of the league, and you gotta protect her, you know. But again, they were the drizzling shits, so they got to do a lot of adjustments and building, and you know, fleece somebody in a deal. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
showcase the girl, then give her a team that you can showcase
Build around her.
and make the Indiana Fever.
It's crazy
the
how
premier
much
Start
team in the
winning
viewership-
league.
championships. You got the best player in the league. Start with
Attendance for all her game. Any time she's in town, no matter where it is, attendance is skyrocketed. The ratings for the WNBA have significantly gone up.
especially when she's playing. I mean,
Coverage
look at the
has
other
gone
games,
up.
You're talking 3,000 people watching or attending compared to 18,000 people when she's there.
The
It's a
raid
big
teams,
difference.
in the words of Vince Russo, man. Like that's what it's about. Like people are tuned in, and you know that there's like a young core group of teenage girls right now that are making that transition from just playing high school ball to that next level of basketball because of their skill set.
And that's another good point too, bro. Like, what kind of example are they setting for these little girls that are watching them right now?
Mhm.
Are you gonna just teach these girls to just
It's like,
hate on the
damn,
girl
they're
who's
gonna-
better than you?
They're gonna bully me as soon as I get into the league.
You know what I mean? Like that.
you know,
How the fuck
it's
does that
just-
even work, bro? Like that. They're just going about this shit the wrong way. and it's
They absolutely
really
are.
super bad look.
It's like with you know, like with WWF. You know, WWF understood that, hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that man's our cash cow. Like he's gonna get
Yeah,
us
he
all
is.
rich, and eventually, from him, other characters were able to spawn and become their own superstar just from working with him. But at one point in time, everything was about everybody working to push him,
Right.
and that means everybody in the room is taking a stunner, whether you like it or not, because Steve Austin must pose. He's gonna drink his beer, and we're all gonna be laughing because of how much money
Yeah,
we brought in.
We've seen it on
together.
plenty of nights where
Yeah.
10 to 15 people were running
Bro.
to the ring and everybody's just getting stunned.
The video, it was Triple H and Steve Austin, and Steve Austin stuns Triple H, pins him. The minute he beats Triple H, a fan runs into the ring and tries to attack Austin. Triple H grabs this dude from behind, German suplexes him for real. He lands on it, he dunks him on his neck, flips his ass, and him and the referee is just like kicking him to the side until he falls off to the side of the ring. Like that's what you got to do. Like
yeah, protect. You gotta
like,
protect your people.
that's your
Just
golden
drink
goose.
that cow.
Yeah, that's your golden goose. Last time I was talking about the WNBA was when Lisa Leslie was in it. And I was watching Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. And she was on there with LA Sparks.
I remember tuning in to watch some Candace Parker, and I remember
you asked
Brittany
me to
Griner
name
getting drafted.
You asked me to name a WNBA player, and the only person I could think of is her.
Yeah, Triple H messed that dude up, yo. Go back and watch the video. It's a house show match that they're having. Steve Austin.
You ever see the one where Randy Savage destroyed the dude?
Yeah,
in the NWO Pro.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were fighting dudes for real. The NWO, like there was people
in the parking lot.
There was people that angry at them that they were running into the ring by themselves to take on the entire.
Remember the dude who tried to climb the ring, who climbed the cage? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the dude Macho Man punched.
Yo, he lit him up.
By his shirt up against his face.
Lit him up, bro.
Yo, wrestling back then.
Like, how did this dude get into the cage for real, bro?
How did you get away from security? How did they allow him to scale the cage?
Like it was like a pay-per-view or something. This dude climbed into the cage, bro.
Wasn't it with Roddy Piper?
That was the match. It was Savage versus Piper.
No, it was Hogan versus Piper, I think.
Yeah, that was Earl Hebner, Terrell. Earl Hebner and Triple H were putting the pieces to that dude.
Yo, that was
like
crazy.
After Triple H dunked him on his head, they just started kicking him while he was down, and he just slides off.
Triple H monkey dunked him, bro.
He was ready.
Like,
yo, he was ready. He was ready, dude.
But that's what you do in the ring, bro. You protect each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cheryl Swoops, Candace Parker, Diana Leslie.
Yeah, those are good names. Good name drops there, Paul, for sure.
Yeah, and maybe some of those other girls that are saying it's not just about Caitlin Clark. Like, hey, maybe you are a star too, but for right now, just like go with it. Like, this is your way in. Like, just chill. Yeah, prove yourself on the
Angel
court.
Reese, she's like, I want people to know that I'm here too, and then proceeded to get a technical and kicked out the next game or something like that. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, just play your game. Shut your mouth and play your game. Stop being a hater, bro.
She's already in their heads at the end of the day. So, and if you're, and then on the
starting
flip side,
off fast.
Caitlin, as you grow, like, just roll with. Like, I'm not afraid to be the bad guy when I have to be. It's fun being a villain.
Embrace it. If that's what she has to be, embrace it, man. Just go out there, work, put on your
I used to get them too, Paul.
Yeah. The kids that came with the cardboard card of players.
Somewhere in my parents' house
remember that.
Is a Cordell Stewart one.
My dad had something like that.
I remember going to McDonald's and you were able to vote for certain people to win certain awards at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. And like on the back of the card, like me just thinking like, damn, who's the MVP? Michael Jordan, Shaq. This is when Shaq was in Orlando. This is like 95, 96. So it's like the options were tough. And I remember Lisa Leslie being like a big part of that time period and being at a lot of the award shows. And,
always.
You know, part of the LA Sparks team that was just, she was kind of like the Wayne Gretzky for them.
Didn't the Bus family own the Sparks?
I don't remember.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
That I don't know.
So Kevin, I guess this is the Kevin Hart edition. He got Chris Paul in there,
Totally like animated based on the nicknames.
Dawn
like
Staley.
Spiderweb. Yeah.
Is that dude Staley's wife?
She's going to have the WNBA push back the 3-point line.
WNBA
if they push back the 3-point line, the girls are going to hate her even more because now it's going to be more difficult to.
I don't think they'll do that.
I mean, you got
unless more girls just start shooting from the logo, then maybe.
I was watching the women's college March Madness up until the championship, and there's some shooters out there that are coming into the league. Like,
yeah, I mean, if we see it, then I could see them doing it. But right now, it's just Caitlin, making all them wild ass shots.
Mm-hmm.
As Derek White bricks a shot, it's currently 15-7. Dallas Mavericks over the Boston Celtics. Dallas with possession of the rock. Kyrie Irving, beautiful layup to bump the lead to 10. Now 17-7. Live reaction to the NBA Finals.
I love it.
An NBA Finals that a lot of us didn't predict, more or less because of the Mavericks kind of breaking through on the Western side, but nonetheless, here it is. Can Dallas save their season? As it appears, we're watching the watch-along version, NBA Unplugged with Kevin Hart, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul looks like he on a State
Three
Farm
guys
right now.
Yeah, he looks like the AI version of Chris Paul. He doesn't even look like the real him. Like, where are you? Are you in space? Why are you sitting so close? Why are you sitting so close to the camera?
Oh, the Phillies game's on NBC 10 tonight.
Yeah, they're not on the normal broadcast. They're
So OTAs or football. Football's been pretty good.
Yes,
Are we
OTAs.
Mandatory mini camps have started for a lot of teams.
Coach T getting a 3-year contract extension?
Contract extension for Coach T.
We just
He
signed-
is
oh shit
20 wins.
Red Sox just tied the baseball game.
RJ says
That was
Cowboys
money
traded
line.
CD to the Packers, which is completely
20
outlandish, but
That's super outlandish.
I'll let him drink his Kool-Aid.
We'll write it down next to Matt's 12-5 for the Giants. I just didn't bring my notebook today.
Yeah.
Mike
I'll write
Tomlin
it
is
down when I get
20
home.
wins
Yeah,
away,
so
21
5
wins away from tying Chuck Noll.
Nice. We got one of those offensive linemen that Callahan worked with. We got the guru, Bill Callahan, the father of our head coach right now. That's
Nice.
working to rebuild our offensive line from being ranked 29th in the league to, he had a pretty formidable offense. Like everywhere he goes, their offensive line becomes good because it's his.
Oh, no wonder they
his
scored.
diet that he
And you guys
provides.
have
with
The
them.
inning got
I
extended
seen you
because of
posted
an
that
error
thing.
by Whitfield. Whit dummy.
You got the best guard duo right now, as far as being ranked. The Titans do one of
La-
the best guard duos.
Latham and what, Drewski?
I think that's. His
We got
name,
James
yeah.
Daniels and
We'll see.
Isaac
We'll have
Samalo.
They're going crazy in Jets world right now. They have no idea
Where is
to
he?
me,
Does
it's a
anybody
big
know?
overreaction if you
Is
ask
he in
me.
the cave?
That's the thing. I meant to say that earlier. Like with everything that we say moving forward with OTAs, like, are we gonna label it OTA reaction or is it time like to hit the panic button?
Nah,
on
it's
some of these
June,
art-
bro.
on some of
It's
these
June.
stories.
I get it's mandatory, but like we're talking thousands of dollars to guys who make millions. Like it's just pennies. If somebody like Aaron Rodgers and Hassan Reddick that doesn't want to be at ATAs for whatever hell the reason they have, then by all means, I think they kind of have that right. They're not rookies. They're not, 3 or 4 year guys. These guys have been in the game for
They don't
years
necessarily.
upon years.
They don't have to be there.
They don't really have to be. Now I get why they.
So is
should be
Aaron
there.
Rodgers in the darkness again?
So
Yeah, with
nobody
him,
knows.
that's the question. Is like, why aren't you?
Well,
there,
I'm sure
though?
the
Like,
Jets
what's-
know where he is. They're just
Oh, they
not
know where
at
he
liberty
is.
to divulge it.
He runs
But-
this show.
But Rodgers did tell them months in advance that he was not going to be around this time of the year. And from what I understand, these teams get to pick and choose when they have their OTAs. They have two options, whether it be last week or this week, I think it was, as far as the options.
Well, they
had.
should have done last week.
So the Jets had the option to make it when they kind of to go around
They're the
Rodgers. If they
Jets.
wanted Rodgers to be at OTAs, they could have easily just switched it up.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, that GM over there is not doing Salah any favors, bro. Leaving that man hanging out there to dry, answer all these weird ass questions that he got no business.
Joe
trying to
Douglas,
answer.
right?
Joe Douglas. He has no business
Yeah, he-
leaving Salah out there answering Roger
What's wrong with
questions.
you
You think
doing
Salah?
like
You think
that.
Salah really knows where Rodgers is at right now?
I
I
he
think
does,
he has an idea.
but he's not allowed to say.
But
Probably.
he's not. Yeah, he's not allowed. He's not allowed to say. I really do think Robert Salah knows, but I feel bad for Salah, bro. I really do feel bad for Salah.
Oh, sure. I just heard that Kevin
Woody
Hart and
Johnson
Diddy
and
stopped
Joe
being
Douglas are
friends
leaving
after
that man
Diddy
out
found
there
out
to
Kevin
dry.
is 40-something.
They definitely left Salah out to dry.
Oh,
But
it's
that's
terrible.
one of those things that's a Aaron Rodgers created type of
Yeah, no,
thing
I mean,
with him being Aaron Rodgers and creating those situations everywhere he goes.
yeah, no,
He creates discomfort everywhere he goes.
yeah. The Jets should have gotten out ahead of it though. They had a couple of options
They
to
did.
not make it this crazy, and they didn't do anything about it, and now
Yep.
it's this
They're
crazy.
the Jets though, because you know what though, you know what's so toxic.
What's
about
the worst thing is now the media, typical Aaron Rodgers not showing up for minicamp,
Right.
but they
Had
don't
the
know
Jets
the
got out in
behind.
front of it and be like,
Yeah.
knowing about it, that he's not going to be there, this and that. That
Nope.
nobody would have made us think about it.
And you know what's so toxic about them, as and them being a part of the New York fan base, that their front office and ownership is looking at it like publicity.
Yeah,
Like, oh, we'll get them talking.
yeah.
We'll get them talking. We'll
They
get
just
some
want to
articles
be in
out
the
there.
mix,
Just,
and that's
yeah,
horrible,
just,
man.
just stupid shit,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
But it's a
horrible.
work.
It's not good
That's
for the
what makes
locker
you
room.
feel.
That they have really good young kids there, and if they want to keep those kids and be able to pay those kids, they need to do better, bro.
It's not
They
good
need
for
to do
your
better.
Garrett Wilson investment in our dynasty league. 'Cause
I
you
mean,
need-
as
you
far
need
as him
stability
playing,
around that young man.
As far as the play goes, I doubt that Aaron Rodgers is not going to play well. Like, I still believe that they're going to have a good season. But going forward, if you want those guys to stay with that organization, you guys got to do better with PR, with how you treat guys, everything, man. It's not a good look for the Jets. As far as the pieces they have, Rodgers is going to come in training camp. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers, and as long as he stays healthy, that team's going to be a good team.
Yeah.
Will they make it to the AFC Championship? I don't even know. I don't even know if they're going to win that division. And they on paper, I think they should win their division. But they're the Jets too at the same time.
It could go multiple ways. Like this could be their best shot to win the AFC East.
It is. No, it is.
But
this
it's
is
the
their
Jets, window. And you kind of just got to hold your breath and wait and see what they actually what the product looks like on the field with everyone together. Like I could see the Jets easily going on a little run early in the season, messing around, going maybe 4-1 or something.
No, I really do think that Rodgers going to have those young boys ready to play, man. I really do. I think him and Garrett Wilson.
Great setup.
Yeah. Last year, Garrett Wilson averaged 20 fantasy points a game, and that was without Aaron Rodgers.
And one thing they're not doing, they're drafting well. Yeah. Jets don't do a lot of things well, but I'm not mad at how they've been drafting.
The last couple of years, they've been drafting well. Joe Douglas, the first couple of years, wasn't so hot. Now the last couple of years, he is hot. But what kind of makes this worse, too, is the Hassan Reddick thing.
Reddick's tweeted out earlier today.
Oh, what did he say?
Stop believing the foolery y'all see on these social media apps and news outlets. Running crazy narratives and y'all eating it up.
But see, it's so easy for him to get up and get behind his phone and say something like that. Like, bro, just go to OTAs. So me and Chris Negron were having a conversation yesterday about this whole thing, and it's like, you guys traded for Hassan Reddick knowing he wanted to be paid, right? Supposedly, him and Joe Douglas had a conversation when Reddick got to the facilities, at the beginning of that trade, and they told Reddick that they weren't going to talk contracts until after the season. They wanted him to play his season out, and apparently Reddick agreed to that. So if that's true, Reddick isn't honoring what they agreed upon, and now he's just sitting home being a baby and wants to get paid. But at the same time, I don't blame him. Like, he hasn't even got his big payday yet. He led the league in sacks once in the last 3 years. Yeah. He had a great year at Arizona when he was there, and he's played great for Philly when he was there. So
this is definitely a pro pay the player podcast.
I don't knock any guy who wants to get paid, especially if they're good, bro. Like
I have my
Steelers
moments.
Suck and go Mavs.
New York media is muy tóxica. You were right about that, Paul. Yes. And Terrell, you're also right.
Don't you worry,
Jets
Freddie.
Can be great, but they squander it.
It's coming.
They do,
That fateful Sunday afternoon in Acrisure.
Now, earlier, I told you guys that I heard some very
bombshell
news.
Here we go.
Disturbing.
Dropping the tea 48 minutes into the pod.
Wait, hold on.
Jones
Should I just leave now?
I'm going to do the GIF. Get ready for the GIF.
So, this is pertaining to Daniel Jones' contract. Now, I don't know how much of this is public information. Oscar, tried to text me earlier and say I was going to go on Twitter and find it.
I couldn't find nothing.
I tried before he did. I couldn't find anything. But I heard it on – the source is Evan Roberts. He said it on the Evan and Tiki show today. Daniel Jones has a stipulation in his contract saying that if he get hurt again this year, because this is the year where the Giants can technically opt out and release him, if Daniel Jones gets hurt again this year, he is entitled to 90% of that contract. Now, I don't know who that agent is that he has. But that guy he needs to be signed. Every player needs to go get that agent, because I don't know how the hell they snuck that in there. For 2 years, for the last 2 years, we've been talking about, everybody's been hating on the contract, the money, and I loved it because they're paying him the middle of the pack money for these quarterbacks.
You still love it?
I mean, after finding out the injury thing, that piece apart, no. As far as the way it was constructed and the money and everything like that, I didn't have a problem with. But now knowing that if this guy gets hurt again this year, knowing that we can just walk away from him, we can't do it without having to pay him. If he gets hurt.
It's true.
If it's
I just need to pay for this, and I'm not paying for this article.
Dude.
It's tough, man. It's a tough pill to swallow. Now, if it goes the route that you've been saying, right, where we just bench his ass and he just doesn't play the rest of the year, we don't have to pay him that money. But it all depends on where the Giants is at.
Oh, my goodness. This is going to be a Russell Wilson Denver situation.
Dude, it's not that bad. Relax. Russell Wilson's making $400 million. Like, relax.
Bench him and pay him a certain amount of it, or
we bench him and pay what he was going to get paid regardless this year. Or if the Giants are having a good year and this guy actually gets hurt week 17, like imagine that. Imagine that scenario where he's actually having a good year. The Giants are actually having a good year and he gets hurt week 17, he's entitled to the rest of that money.
I see why you saved it for the podcast and didn't want to spill the beans earlier.
No, yeah, I didn't. I wasn't gonna go back and forth over text message with you guys about this. I needed to be.
Next time I'll be like, what? Like, are you kidding me? 90%.
This sounds like Russell Wilson in Denver last year when they told him, like, hey, we need you to rework this. And he said, no, well, we benched you.
What a kick in the balls to the organization.
So is Drew Lock going to be the starter of the New York Football Giants?
No. So Dable, I listened to a press conference with Dable. Daniel Jones is the starter. He's our starter.
He's the starter.
They have no intentions of letting Drew Lock take the field at all this year.
Drew Lock came out and said, I'm here to help Danny Dimes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Bro,
like,
Drew Lock is just he's just a backup. That's all he is, bro. They have no intention of giving that guy the lead.
So
the reins.
You know that a team does that for they let the just go out
Danny Jones
go out and tell them that you're
has set the Giants back so many seasons by existing and barely functioning.
Oh, you want to talk about setbacks, bro?
Wow, this has just made Levis versus Jones
Gettleman has ruined the
that
Giants
much more enticing.
Years, and Joe Shane is doing the best he can to try and put the pieces back together for this team.
It's too much to do in like 2 years. There's too much irreparable damage by Gettleman.
I agree. And a lot of people, there's too many impatient Giants fans and New Yorkers, period, that are calling for this guy's neck.
You can't rush that.
And you can't rush it, bro. And honestly, I love Shane and Dable, and I think they kind of deserve more than 3 years to try and get things on their way. Now, I understand the NFL is a what have you done for me lately, and you got to draft
the year y'all had last year, I thought you were going to have the year prior. And the first under Dable, I thought you would have the second year.
I agree with you, but going into last year, after having that 2022 year, I knew last year was kind of going to be like that. Did I expect all the injuries and stuff like that? Not at all. You never can predict injuries, but I didn't think we were going to be a good team last year.
And the Boston Celtics have cut the lead to 2.
So you basically got to get this guy out of the building in one piece.
Essentially, because I still believe that this is his last year with us. So yeah,
no matter what,
no matter even if he does have a good year with us, I think
need a rebuild in New York, but the coach wasn't the issue. It's a talent and drafting issue.
Yeah,
it's the ghost of Giants past from the past regime.
The GM we have now is slowly building the talent. We have good guys: Rondo Robinson, Malik Neighbors, Andrew Thomas is the best offensive lineman in the league. Like we have, Kayvon Thibodeau is a top 10 defensive lineman. We just drafted or just traded for one of the top 5 defensive linemen. Dexter Lawrence is the top nose tackle in the league. We've been doing good things. We've been trying to put things back together, but it's just tough, man. It's just tough.
That is a damning clause in that contract.
It's crazy, bro. It's so crazy knowing that he's only been healthy 1 year of the 6 years that he's been there.
He might not
how
be
do you allow that to be in that?
I don't know.
He might not be the best quarterback. Like he might not even be top 20. But as far as businessmen goes, Danny Dimes right now is
nobody's better than Sam Bradford.
But there's like he's learning from
Sam Bradford
from that tree of learning as far as getting paid.
I think Kirk
getting your money.
Than Sam Bradford, but Sam Bradford made his money on the real.
No, I'm talking about shitty players making mad money.
You've got
Sam Bradford is the king,
and Daniel Jones just put himself on the board as far as getting himself paid.
Daniel Jones isn't a shitty player. So.
In the shade,
there's that. He's not. I don't care what nobody says.
Do you think that the Giants are thinking to themselves, we let this play out, and if he plays bad for the first couple of weeks,
they
we protect our investment, sit him down, don't risk injury, knowing that this kid is not going to be our quarterback next year, and then you just avoid having to deal with that 90% of that contract completely.
I'm surprised the Giants didn't get involved in the Justin Fields sweepstakes.
Me too. But technically, he is a free agent at the end of the year.
They're going to draft next year. They're going to go into the draft next year, and that's going to be their move.
Depends where they're at.
Like,
but I will say, Giants players are known to do dumb shit and miss games. Old Plexico Burst and a homeboy who blew off his fingers. LT was drunk and coked up all the time. And now Danny J.
Well,
I mean, you just named 2 guys who won Super Bowls for us, so that's not a really good thing, Paul. I don't see that.
LT's probably the greatest
the
defender,
defensive player of all time. And Plaxico Burress won as a Super Bowl.
And he beat Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania 11.
LT was coked up probably on the field because in the 80s.
I'm sure LT was coked up when he broke Jaw's legs. So, or was that Theismann? He broke Theismann's legs, right?
Yeah, Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Absolute monster.
Same spot that Alex Smith broke his.
Yes.
And right now, this new regime in New York is trying to get you guys out of the arrears, which is sometimes what people fail to understand unless they're tuned into football teams. Like people talking about how it's like, oh, you guys gave Calvin Ridley this much money, but not AJ Brown. It's like, oh, but we traded AJ Brown and those guys got fired. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like it's new people in different places that still have a big mess to clean up. There's nothing. It's like when the Avengers come to town and fight and they leave nothing behind. They're not going to help you clean that shit up. You got to clean it up.
Tony Stark just donates his money.
You got to build
and writes it off as a tax break.
Back up. You know what I mean? From literally the trenches.
I agree, man. I agree. And kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, I do think that the Giants are thinking what you said, but they're not going to make that kind of move a couple of weeks in.
Yo, what a great point you just said about the Avengers. I remember
clean up shit.
I remember an episode of Justice League after they destroyed like half the city in the fight, and Superman looks at the cops, goes, or the mayor, and goes, "Don't worry, the Justice League will pay for it." And you see Batman look back at him like, "You mean I'll pay for it?"
Like, I'm your budget.
He said, like, "I didn't know you made that kind of money off of a newspaper's salary."
It's like the whole. It's like the whole Captain America, Tony Stark thing. It's like Captain America's the leader, but Tony Stark's the one funding everything and making all the cool shit, like you said.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's the leader. I just fund everything. LT was great, but I'm saying y'all are known to have wild-ass players who miss games because of it. Danny would be the one to get injured
Daniel
and get
Jones
paid.
to Lawrence Taylor and Plaxico Burress, bro. You got to come up with different players. It's
the whole thing is it's two different conversations now. It's the Giants in a rebuild and a terrible contract of Daniel Jones that can go terribly wrong.
It only goes wrong
one Sunday afternoon.
Now I get that the probability of him getting hurt is on
high.
The higher side because of his history.
The kid gets hurt, man.
But
that's why I said about Hurts missing 2 games a year.
It's obviously a formulated risk that the Giants were willing to take. Me personally, I don't 100% agree with it, but this team, you don't go out and trade for Brian Burns and sign a quarterback
great, we're losing now,
and try to save your salary cap 4 weeks, for the first month into a season. Like that's just not what you do. You get those guys because you're trying to win. So I don't see it doesn't make sense for them to go 0-3 and just bench Daniel Jones because they want to save $12 million. To me, that doesn't make sense. So they're gonna try and win, but they just got to keep him healthy. He just has to stay healthy. That's what they got to hope for, is just him staying healthy.
Because you know that if they bench Danny Dimes, because we all know Giants fans they live in separate worlds. A lot of these core 100%. Issues. There's gonna be that group of Giants fans that are like, "Oh, we're just benching him because we're scared to pay the money in case he gets hurt. This team isn't ready to win. They're a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of boo."
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like that. Like, dude, fucking, what are you doing? Why are you selling out? You're a sellout.
That opens up the conversation of, is it a fireable offense of Dable now? It's like, it's a mess, bro. It's all a mess.
I mean, and Dable hasn't done himself any favors. He needs to kind of shape up. He needs to do a change like Coughlin did.
Is Carson Beck going to be the quarterback of the future for the Giants?
Who the fuck is that?
From Georgia? Or Shandor Sanders from Colorado?
No, F that, bro.
I'm looking at all the names here.
I'm pretty sure Deion doesn't want some playing in New York anyway.
Or is it going to be who I believe it's going to be? Dak Prescott.
Yeah, they had that conversation too. They actually had a conversation about where they thought, what they thought Daniel Jones' potential was, and Tiki Barber said that he's a slightly better version of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is your middle of the road quarterback when it comes to where he does and where he's gone.
My God, it's 8-4 now.
What the hell's going on here?
Red Sox.
Go ahead, chew your gum, Topper.
Beating the Phillies' ass right now. Bottom of the 6, 8-4.
What the hell just happened?
This is what I get for changing the channel.
I think that we can thank Noli, since he started talking shit randomly earlier about telling the Yankees to keep up. Right now, you guys are having some trouble keeping up with the Boston Red Sox.
Right, we scored 6 runs in the first, buddy.
Yankees up 6-0. and the Phillies are down in Beantown to the middle of the pack Boston Red Sox.
You guys had one job.
One
job.
I mean, they beat them yesterday. Right now, today, I knew that it was a matter of time. The Red Sox lineup can be potent as Duran hits another one.
It is. Wow, rally.
So,
the pitcher's name is Sally.
That's good for the batting average of the Bambinos as well as the Yankees. I'm loving it.
Who hit that ball?
We got
Duran.
jet lag. That's what it is.
Jet lag from England.
Yeah.
You won yesterday, though.
Dak is not.
That was just,
I agree.
Maybe JT Realmuto's injury is just going to catch up to the Phillies. You know, maybe it's just one of those things where not having them there can be. But right now, it seems like the pitching tonight is the issue because they're getting smacked around.
Well, Christopher Sanchez is hit or miss.
Dak is an NY material.
I agree with that.
Where would Dak go if he went anywhere? Like the Vikings, right? Maybe
No, they
might be the
drafted
quarterback. Yeah, but the kid they drafted, we
see
talked
that.
about this wasn't an exciting quarterback draft. We knew that it wasn't going to be shit. It was all about the wide receivers this year.
You talking about this draft,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
like-
No, I said it from jump that I hated all 4 major QBs that were coming out, and I think the one that might be any type of good is going to be Drake, man.
My guy was Jaden Daniels. I feel like we all agreed that most of the quarterbacks weren't going to be shit, but we all picked at least one guy that we said was going to end up, making it out from the slums and becoming like that guy. My guy's Jaden Daniels. Your guy's Drake May. You got the Bo Nix believers out there.
Probably
Like-
Broncos fans.
I mean, but him, it's the question of like, there's nobody he can really sit behind. So like, Bo Nix might end up getting the experience quicker than the other guys.
Yeah, what helps Nix is that he does have Sean Payton. We'll see if Sean Payton can kind of relive his Drew Brees glory days. But
we'll find out sooner if Bo Nix is that guy because he's going to get the playing time before the other cats.
Yeah,
because Denver is paying for Russell Wilson to be a Pittsburgh Steeler because this guy had a freaking problem.
In my
with
personal
Russ.
opinion, man, if you're gonna throw a rookie out there week 1, I say you let him go and just play out the whole year. You gotta let him learn, bro. You gotta let him learn. And if you really feel by the end of the year that kid is just not it, then maybe go a different direction or maybe get a bridge QB that's somebody that can kind of help mold this kid into the future. But there's no sense in letting a kid start week 1, pulling him week 6, throwing him back in there week 17. Like that's just too much.
They pull him out to put in Zach Wilson. That's the other quarterback that they have. And
who
Stidham? Is Stidham still there, or did he go somewhere else? Is Stidham with the Raiders?
Might still be there, but
So-
Zach Wilson is literally a quarterback in the scenario that I was just saying, like a guy who's been pulled and put in and pulled and then told that he was going to get traded and be like, you know what, we still need you. Like Zach Wilson has been through a lot mentally as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they can't do that to Bo Nix. They just can't.
Yeah.
So
does maybe Penix have the best viewpoint of all the rookie quarterbacks
I
because
think
he
so.
actually
He doesn't
gets
have
to
to start.
sit
Yeah, he doesn't have to start.
on a team that can contend behind a quarterback that can still go.
And there's people, analysts and other reporters already toying with the conversation about next year for Atlanta. Like, does Kirk even want to stay there? Do the Falcons trade Kirk Cousins?
Because everybody's in a rush to see everything, and that becomes part of the problem. They don't let storylines develop because they're in a rush. They want the payoff, and then we got the new shiny toy has to go out there and play. Oh, he breaks his leg. Damn, they put him out there too soon.
Yeah.
Like everybody's always going to be ready to jump on one side no matter what happens.
I think if Kirk Cousins really hated the fact of them drafting a quarterback, I could see him asking to be traded next year, but I'm not going to be worried about 2025 right now. Like, let the year play out. Who's to say that Kirk doesn't get hurt again and this kid comes in and just lights it up or whatever the case may be. So I think people just need to pump the brakes a little bit. There's always way too much reaction when it comes to the NFL.
It's not like you owe anybody,
June, bro. Like, we're not even in training camp yet. We're talking about mandatory mini camps right now, and people are just overreacting to shit.
It's not like
Bro,
you're
are
owing
you about
anybody.
to get kicked out?
Nick yelling. Everybody just needs to take a chill
just
pill.
button your shirt back
relax. It's not like you owe anybody $90 million on their contract if they get hurt. Right? There's more serious matters happening.
That's crazy.
That is
shrewd move
insane.
by his agent.
Paul
No,
agrees
bro,
with
I
us as long as the O-line isn't Swiss cheese. The Denver Broncos in general are Swiss cheese no matter what because they burned their defense to the ground and traded away all the good pieces.
I mean, they still have Patrick
They
Surtain, but
they are in debt, the likes of the New Orleans Saints, basically, as far as the money that they owe that's not even going into their own team.
right.
Their best wide receiver is a 28, 29-year-old Cortland Sutton, who is good, but it's like he's the number one out there.
And who's looking for a contract too.
Yeah, and he doesn't even want to be there. Like, and there's potential for him to be elsewhere if the Denver Broncos are looking to play this game of, we know we're broke, let's try to get as many draft picks as we can, and that could be our way of fixing this until we have the money again. Because
trade Sutton, trade Surtain, and get as much picks as you can and start all over again.
Bo Nix is going to be the starter.
When you put yourself that deep in the hole, you really have to start from rock bottom in the basics.
Who's the backup?
In the picks?
Bo Nix, Zach Wilson.
So it would be Zach Wilson or Stidham.
Right.
I
want to say it's Stidham.
It's a race between 3 third-place people, basically. Like, what, it's a rookie who's trying to learn and 2 quarterbacks that aren't capable of teaching him because there is competition right now. They could win the starting job if he ain't ready.
Right.
So they're trying to win the starting job because they haven't done shit in this league. And to be able to get the starting job could be a nice little, like, you got to get your payday, dog. Like, these guys, the Nick Mullins of the world, the Sam Bradford, they paved the way for nobody quarterbacks to get paid.
Yeah.
I just need a deal. Like, I just need to get the contract in. Man.
If you're a good backup quarterback, you're gonna get paid in this league.
Yeah,
you're gonna get paid.
Kirk Cousins, the king of getting money and not getting results.
He's that's Bradford.
He might be the godfather of it, but like he can get you to the playoffs.
No, I think Kirk Cousins is just the king of getting money.
He's won playoff games.
He's won playoff games. His numbers are good.
Great businessman.
But yeah.
Great businessman.
You look at almost everything, like his year-to-year contracts and stuff like that, everything's almost fully guaranteed. He's gotten $370 million worth of guaranteed money.
Ever since they started tagging him.
Right. And if he plays out this contract in Atlanta, we're talking $425 million fully guaranteed throughout his NFL career. Like, that's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's you write a book after that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And you show these young kids, like, how to get that bag. And right now,
Chris Carter said it the best, bro. When it comes to football, the 2 things that those guys should be worried about is money and memory. You go play in the NFL for money and memories.
Money, memories, and the miles. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my big bombshell for OTAs, man. That's the biggest thing that I've really taken out of everything. I've seen some Pittsburgh stuff. I've seen some Dallas stuff. Some Philly stuff, Sirianni talking shit to Giants fans, saying we took your best player. Little does he know, I guess, that Andrew Thomas and
Chris says
Lawrence are our best players.
In our most toxic group chat of all the group chats, Chris says, "Damn, it really unraveled for the boys in red pinstripes." It definitely has. They slaughtered my money line parlays with their bullshit tonight. So
you took
thanks for nothing, Phils. Yeah, I took him on the money line.
Where's that at?
I was making a parlay.
I mean, I know Boston's trash, but
I thought that the Phillies would be able to handle business. They claim to be the best, but tonight it looks like they're going to go down 1.5 games to the team with the best record in baseball, the Bronx Bombers, the New York Yankees.
So much for that 0.1%.
But as far as the OTAs, here one of the first things that popped up was Sam Darnold to be Vikings QB1 entering training camp. So he's going to get all the rep work with the ones. Khalil Shakir works off to the side at practice on Wednesday. Could mean anything, could mean something. We don't know. Jonathan Brooks to be eased into training camp. Of course, we know the rookie running back. They're not going to rush him because
he's RB1 right now.
Dooley's current RB1 in Dynasty. They're not going to rush him back because when he's finally back, he's going to be the RB1.
Right.
So they're playing the long-term game when it comes to Brooks. And we knew he was hurt at this point in time. So Romeo Dobbs' priority this offseason was to open up his stride as a runner.
I got a quote for you from the WIP morning show.
Let's hear it.
This situation is crazy. You kept the guy around even when you knew you shouldn't. Richie is still annoyed that the Eagles didn't move on from Nick Sirianni.
Well,
dude, that guy's a clown, bro.
That
guy is a clown. Is a clown, bro.
See ya. Remember him going back and forth with the Chiefs fans, and then that's after that the Eagles imploded completely.
Bro, he's like one of the only coaches that literally takes his time out of it to go back and forth with fans.
Because he is a fan. He's a fan that became a coach. Like he's a mark. He's a doofus. He made it this far because he's part of a well-oiled machine, and he had 2 great coordinators alongside him. And after those
And ever since they
coordinators took
left,
jobs,
Waldo Machine has become more
he's
rusty.
gotten exposed. Their
Yeah.
offense has been horrendous.
Yeah.
Their offense
Yo, what
is
did
garbage.
Jalen Hurts say that was so under fire?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what
recently?
he
Yeah.
said. Mike Williams owners. Mike Williams' knee expects to be healthy for the regular season. So
he'll be here. He'll be hurt by week 6.
so that's good news if you are holding on to him.
He'll catch like a 15-yard touchdown in the corner on a fade route and get hurt.
I'll be healthy.
Land on his
I'm
back.
not going to tell
Yeah.
you when I'm going to be healthy. I'll be there. Not going to give you a time. Probably going to be late. Don't count on it. See you later, maybe. That's basically.
See you later, maybe.
Yeah.
Damn it, Austin's up.
Spencer Rattler works with second-team offense Wednesday. Quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Daniel Bellinger dealing with an undisclosed injury, tight end for the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, it's June, bro. Like a lot of this injury stuff, unless it's something super significant, I'm not reading into any of that shit, bro. I am not reading into any of that shit, bro. I don't care what team it is. It's June.
Doesn't read into
It's
it.
June.
Immediately has an opinion on it. Like
It's June. I don't give a shit, bro.
Finesse Minnesota for
If
several
he's
bags.
not tearing something like a soft tissue, or if it's not like hamstring related, like anything like that, I'm not worried about it, bro. Again, I don't care if it's a Giant, a Viking. Like, I don't give a shit, dude.
We'll have a Cleveland Brown, Jerry Jeudy, on the field Wednesday, but not practicing. So
there we go.
Just
Picking up where he left off from Denver. My boy. That's why they got rid of him, man. He's somebody who could have been like really good in this league, and he's just like
he's now
maybe he's too prideful, or he just think he's better. He's like one of the guys who just think he's better than everybody else, and he's just get paid and
like he could be the third option out there in Cleveland.
No, yeah.
Oh,
I read that Amari Cooper.
It's not what he said; it's what he didn't say.
Oh, who he's not defending.
On Thursday, he was asked what he noticed about Sirianni being open-minded enough to change the offense by turning it over to Kellen Moore, new OC. Hurts said,
Giancarlo Stanton, baby.
There we go.
Then there was a long pause, then a little chuckle before Hurts began again. I mean, that's a great question. I don't know that I know what the answer is. The follow-up about what he sees from so far in doing that was basically a packaging of the previous question by the same reporter. Hurts tried again. I think he's just been great, and he offered another long pause. The messages he's delivering to the team, he's trying to be very intentional of what he's saying. Another pause. Yeah.
Wow. And usually Jalen Hurts is always just talking riddles, and he always has something to say, some type of inspirational type of quote or something. And that
tells me he either doesn't understand what the guy's trying to implement, or he just doesn't like the guy.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. And how long before AJ Brown starts going on Twitter again?
Oh, God.
Being upset.
I give him week 10. I say week 10.
Like, are you talking about the coach or aren't you talking about the coach? Because the problem with AJ Brown is that he has Twitter thumbs.
Yes.
And some of the stuff that he says on Twitter, like, you got to be vocal enough to say it in front of the microphone too. Like, lean into the character.
AJ Brown is the type of guy to give AB information. And
you want to be who's feeding AB? And who is the rat that's feeding Antonio Brown information?
For CTA, yes.
We've known for years. We've known for years the wrestlers have been talking to Dave Meltzer, whether they want to admit it or not. I want to know who are the football players that are hanging out with AB, listening to his mixtape, smoking weed, and spilling tea, and giving them this information that he has on football players.
That's
like,
crazy.
I'm going on his Twitter page for CTESPN right now.
Paul said, finesse Minnesota for several bags and never played in the NFC Championship game. I don't think that's Kirk Cousins' fault. What has Kirk Cousins worked with? He just got JJ a couple of years ago.
Cousins has had some decent teams.
Trying to get back as far.
Not
offense is. First of all, Washington wasn't, but he's bringing up Minnesota. I don't think any team that Kirk Cousins been on in Minnesota had that defense been in the top 20.
Well, last year's Vikings defense was actually top 10, but it was a lot to do with stopping the run. They were good at stopping the run. Don't take what the Packers did to them at the end of the year and hold it. Like the Vikings defense was solid. I don't
know. I didn't really see it.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's solid. And like where the Vikings are at right now is on the outside looking in. Like them and the Bears are going to be fighting to not be in the basement of that division.
Yeah, well, they'll be fighting for the third spot in that division.
So
he had some serviceable teams, though.
this was what
I still don't think you should call it that they
CTESPN
didn't play in the
founded.
Jersey Championship.
Here's all the things that he reported before it got leaked out to the public. The NFL jersey leaks, he was right about. The Justin Herbert trade talks that were rumored that they try to deny, but we all know there was whispers.
Murmurs.
The Russell Wilson signing with Pittsburgh, he had it 3 days before it happened. Stephon Diggs trade, he had that like almost a month before it happened. Zeke Elliott re-signing with Dallas, he had that 3 weeks before it happened. OBJ signing with Miami. This is the kicker. AB's bankruptcy. He broke his own bankruptcy.
That guy's a nut, dude.
The NFL covered and his podcast.
Oh, wow.
He's broken a lot of things, but it's like you said.
You know what, Chris? You are right about
Somebody's-
that.
Go
That
Yankees.
That was the
That's right.
What's the guy? What's the Brian Flores? That Brian Flores defense was good,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to. They didn't want to for Flores.
Go Yankees, baby.
Who's this ball headed?
Whooping ass right now. Kansas City.
Ooh, that was a nasty move by
You got to make a move at the
He's
deadline.
also leaked a Seahawks jersey.
all white.
Yeah, he leaked that as well.
Hmm.
The April 21st, Giants jersey leak. That's when he tweeted it out. When did it get announced? The 16th of May.
Oh, Matt left the home run on the bench. He's talking about it in the baseball chat right now.
And right now, he's
How's it?
also talking about that the Dolphins are currently negotiating a new extension with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I heard he did want to restructure his contract. Well, he's being a little bitch. He wants to be up there with the other guys. So he just got a really good
Still
bag.
wide receiver mark.
You went to Miami because you don't have to pay taxes over there, and now you want more money, bro. Like, I'm all for guys trying to get a bag. I really am. But once you start being a little bit, once you're looking for that second and third bag after you just literally
Second
got a bag,
third
like,
bag, fourth bag.
yeah,
You got to see how many bags you can get.
You're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. Do you not want them to keep Tua? Like, well, he has to get paid. If he don't get paid, what's the option after Tua for Miami? This is his contract year.
Oh, Juwan Johnson. This is breaking news. Not breaking. It went down earlier. It's funny because it's like multiple. It's two-parter here. Tight end Juwan Johnson suffered a lower leg injury today and expected to miss a good amount of time per Nick Underhill. And
that was my sleeper last year.
shortly after that, Easy Dubs, a.k.a. Matt, drops Juwan Johnson in our Kingpins Dynasty League. So he's not even going to give him a hospital bed.
Yeah, damn. He could have just sat
And
him
the
in
this
the
is-
hospital.
This is May 5th when he tweeted this about Tyreek Hill's working on a new contract. Miami first wants to get Waddle's deal done first. If Waddle doesn't get a new deal, he'll hold out. And what happened 2 weeks later?
He got a deal done.
So
I wonder if him
It's like-
leaking stuff like that
it's a-
forces these organizations to kind of make those moves too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and right now he's also
That's why they do it. to
he's been
force their
saying
hand.
for it since 2 weeks before the draft, the Steelers and Niners have been talking trade for one of the receivers.
we all know who that is. I mean, I've heard Debo being on the block too.
Yeah, because they'll just, whatever money they free up with Debo, they'll use
They'll
on
give it to
IU.
Ayuk, yeah.
Yep.
I think that is the better play in my opinion, man. I think trading Debo. I mean, you'll get more for IU, but I think if you really want to keep Brandon, you trade Debo and just pay Brandon.
I think they're trying to get more. In San Francisco.
I mean, it behooved them to get
It
more.
would behoove them because now you're looking at a wide receiver core of Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, and Kittle, and then who's there? Who else is the next wide receiver in that group? We don't know him yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist.
Yeah.
McCaffrey. Spoiler alert. Like they don't
They
have.
just paid him the AAV of
So
$20 million a year.
whatever you do, you got to recoup enough real estate while keeping in mind you really don't have a third wide receiver on your depth chart,
Yeah.
and you're trading one away. You don't really have many. Like it's slim pickings right now for them. So
Logan
it's like,
Thomas
whatever.
is he a Niner really?
Logan Thomas is a 49er. He is the tight end now. He is the tight end. I believe I picked him up in Kingpins a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting there just to see what happens. It's
Um,
that time of year where you just, pick up randoms and you drop them when the OTAs drop them.
for the sake of a back and forth, though, I do think that, San Fran's system is well enough to. He said, "Nah, I did." That he picked up Logan Thomas.
Oh, maybe it was in the
Superflex.
Superflex.
But I do think that San Fran's system is good enough to where like Purdy can get whoever the ball, as long as the guy's running the right routes and gets opens and gets the separation. Whoever that third and fourth wide receiver is, I mean, they can be an integral part of their offense because of the way Shanahan runs that offense.
Yeah, yeah, it's a system.
We're talking about two guys who are potential waiver wire gems in this year's fantasy year, because again, we don't know who the hell.
Somebody pick up Logan Thomas.
Yeah, he's picked up in both leagues.
Chris did.
Well, you're not in the other league. You're just
you're not
you're part of it, but you're not in a way. It's like the Superflex. You know all the tea of the Superflex.
Yeah.
I do.
That league's been kind of chill right now. Like not much action happening in the Superflex league just yet, but we're getting to that point in time where just things start to happen.
Trades start moving, yeah.
And for me, it was like a like after we did Kingpin's Dynasty, like I was super locked in on that specific Dynasty team. You spend a couple weeks just tweaking and tinkering with that team. So there was a point in time when I wasn't looking at the Superflex team a lot. Now I go back to that team, I look at it, and I'm comparing it with all the.
How does everybody out there feel about Madden cover Christian McCaffrey?
I think it's a bad look.
Do you guys believe that the curse will be real this year or not?
That curse is real almost every year.
Let's get ahead of it, people.
That curse is real. I mean, look, wasn't Mahomes just on last year's cover, right?
A couple of years ago.
Oh.
He lost
on last year's cover.
He was on the cover when they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he made it.
Was he?
Who was on the cover last year?
I haven't bought Matt. Josh Allen.
Was it Josh? Look, Josh Allen didn't have a good year, right?
Overall.
I know he had a good fantasy year, but I mean, in real life, it wasn't
like
great.
He dropped the ball again.
The only thing that kind of worked in his benefit when it comes to the Madden curse is that he didn't get hurt. But
let's see. I'm gonna. You know what? I should have had this ready to roll, but.
But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like CMC being on the cover of Madden. I think that's a bad look, especially for somebody who we know gets hurt all the time. I mean, and dude, I think I've drafted McCaffrey maybe once in fantasy football, and it's because his injuries scare me, man. And the years that I tend to like the years where I'm like, yeah, F that, I'm not touching him at all. Those are the years that he tends to like go off and shit like that. Like last year, I felt like that. Going into last year, I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not touching McCaffrey because I'll be the one where he gets hurt on, and he stood healthy all year and had a crazy year last year.
Shit, I'll draft him again.
I'm going to take it back to the very first cover athlete. Eddie George, 2001.
Eddie George.
Did not have a good season.
Nope.
Fumbled a crucial pass in the playoffs that led to his team's elimination.
A pick from the Ravens. That shit was crazy. No, actually, that was a very good season because we were the number 1 seed that season. It just so happens that we ran into the version of the Ravens that was the 2000 Ravens
in 2002,
in the middle of their run.
In 2002, there were 2 covers. I had the Culpepper cover.
I remember that.
And then there was Marshall Faulk on the other. And we all know how that went for them. Yeah. Marshall Faulk was on the cover again in 2003. This time, Michael Vick was also on it. Vick broke his leg.
That year.
2005, Ray Lewis broke his
collarbone or some shit like that.
His shoulder or something. Yep.
That was the year of the big hit. 05 Madden.
Yep.
The hit stick.
Managed to. All right. So, of course, not every Madden cover athlete suffered from the curse. Some players managed to avoid major injuries or setbacks and had successful seasons after being on the cover.
Yeah, but only
for example, Ray Lewis in 05, but he was injured, so I don't know what they're talking about. Drew Brees in 2011, but the Saints lost in the playoffs, so they didn't even make the playoffs, I think. Richard Sherman in 2015. Oh shit, that was the year
Russ.
Yeah, the interception.
Man, there's some bad examples.
Yeah. Pat Mahomes in 2020.
Like you stayed healthy, but bad things happen.
So even if the guy on the Madden cover doesn't get hurt, something
bad's
bad's gonna happen to that
curse
team.
may not be an injury. The curse can just be a curse.
Yeah.
we need to start broadening the spectrum of what this could mean to be on the Madden cover.
So put the money line whoever Sanford plays in the NFC Championship.
Detroit money line.
Detroit money line, NFC Championship, bro.
Detroit -5.
Excuse me.
Imagine what
You know
that's
what?
running right now. Some NFL future bets. Like we got to start plugging them in now, dog. We got to start looking into the future.
Yeah, no.
So Josh Allen was on the cover last year, but remember the other 3 covers were John Madden himself.
Yes. It was weird. It was like they were protecting people from the curse itself.
Yeah.
Well, I think that like the first year that Madden was on the cover, that players were complaining about the curse. From what I read.
I don't think I'd take him 101. Talking about McCaffrey.
Not
Next
101.
Kirk Cousin where he plays good but doesn't.
But
get
Elon already said he's not afraid of the curse. He's taking him.
I'll take
if he's there.
It's just one of those things
so
where
Elon's a very bold fantasy manager. Like he's super bold.
things
Then
happen
come in that league come December, like he's eliminating the first round of the playoffs. Say he didn't have McCaffrey the whole time. He's just gonna be like, I do it again. Instead of just coming out and be like, maybe I shouldn't have done it.
I'll admit my
Maybe I should have took
I think the more drafts
Tyreek Hill at that spot.
The more drafts I do, the more I'll come out and say, hey, I should have taken that guy. But with the different formats of our main drafts, I'm looking at the board different ways. I'm more up to speed on a wide receiver
after
value.
the 5th pick, then you got to consider. I agree.
Yeah, at that point, how far low does he fall until you're the guy that gets McCaffrey at a bargain? Pretty much like how Terrell got McCaffrey this year, where it's like, a lot of people were passing up. I was one of them because I was just looking at wide receiver. I was looking at Sun God in the Dynasty League. And then by the time it was my turn to pick again in the first, McCaffrey was already off the board, I believe. So I went Jahmyr Gibbs.
What, in the Dynasty?
Yeah.
Didn't Alex take McCaffrey?
No, Terrell.
Terrell did.
Alex took A-Chain, who was a top 10 running back, and fucking traded him for nothing.
Woo!
And it wasn't for nothing. It was for Travis Kelce.
He just lost his rookie tight end that's probably going to start this year.
He's a top 10 fantasy option at running back, and he traded him away for an aging tight end.
According to Alex,
man, did you hear what?
According to Alex, reports say that he is not going. It's going to be in a share for running.
Right, but when A-Chain starts killing it like he was last year, getting people 50 points a week, it's going to be a share of him getting more of the share because you're going to score touchdowns to win games.
Yeah, because Raheem Mostert isn't scoring 19 plus touchdowns again.
He's not doing that. That guy's old, bro.
I'm not saying that
Raheem.
Raheem.
The backup, fucking Wilson or whatever the hell his name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I'm not saying that Raheem Mostert is not that guy. I'm just saying that A-Chain is so good that Raheem Mostert can still eat, and A-Chain is still going to be a top 10 option at running back.
Like A-Chain's going to rush for 50, 60, 70 yards down the field, and Mostert might punch it in some plays, but some of those big rushes, A-Chain will house them things. So I'm going to get bonus points. I'm looking at bonus points, and that's what I told him. I made these trades to get back into the 2nd and 3rd round of the draft, which is pretty. I probably wouldn't have drafted A-Chain in the 3rd round, but still, I got back into those rounds getting guys like A-Chain and Dell. And now I told him, I said, I'm looking at bonus points almost every week.
Well, Alex also brought up about Kelce, like you were saying. I could keep playing. I'm having so much fun.
I mean, yeah, he did say that today. That he came out and said that he
like,
wants to
bro,
play until the wheels fall off and all that.
Your regular season was the drizzling shits in my eyes because I was a Travis Kelce owner.
Well, last year you're talking about?
The only time he produced was in real, like when it really mattered was playoffs.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you played a great postseason, but you did absolute shit for me.
Terrible fantasy
for most
season.
weeks.
That wasn't his fault though.
Terrible.
Mahomes
fantasy.
had a bad year too, so they just that whole team,
Chiefs
that whole
offense.
the Chiefs offense was kind of off.
Chiefs offense.
I was ready to double down. I mean, that's why I'm ready to double down on them in Superflex League. I traded for Kelce in the Superflex League because I think they're gonna just kind of.
Well, you've already said they're three-peating, and I've already said no, they're not.
Yeah.
So.
I'm on the other side, where it's like you're a buyer of Kelce, I'm a seller of Travis Kelce. Or if I had him in Dynasty right now, I would flip him right now. I feel as though with the deal you made with Alex, I don't think he's ever gonna be able to recoup out of Kelce what he gave to you as far as
Devin
A-Chain, the pick, the tight end, because A-Chain is going to be somebody that hopefully this dynasty lasts 10 years, and you're going to be able to start a Devon A-Chain down the road.
At least 5 years.
Or
he could be my starter for the next 5 years.
Yeah, like, so as for, from a dynasty three-dimensional chess perspective, I feel as though you got way more out of it, which is why I say what I said, and I'm like talking shit a little bit. But it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, he didn't like him, he didn't want him, so he sold them off for somebody he wanted. And
yeah, no, it was great.
That
I
was
happy
wild.
to get the deal done.
You lived to tell the tale.
And I, you know, literally weeks later, Darren Waller retires, and now me and Alexia agreed on how we both love Theo Johnson. I asked for Mayer. I told him to give me, or not Mayer, Bowen, right? Is that the kid's name?
Bowers?
Bowers. Yes, I asked for Bowers, and he was like, "Nah, he's the future." Da 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 da. I said, "All right, give me Theo."
I'll give you Mayer if you want him.
No.
Yeah, Mayer.
In Kingston?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I have I got myself the tight end.
I'm scared to know what you want.
So no, I don't want a lot. I'll throw him in there with the first rounder.
Are we sitting here making deals right now?
Throw him in with the first round pick and just spice up like something we were talking about before. I'm just saying. You can. What
are we doing?
I'll do Mayer, and then you look at it. You send the counter. Nothing, Oscar. It's just nothing. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, we'll
we'll
off tomorrow.
reconvene.
So yeah,
We'll
you know, I
reconvene.
got a lot of time to look at your team. And
I'll send you something today, later on, and then you look it over, you digest it. We'll start yelling right away. Just look at it, and then you know you send me something, because right now I got my boy Chigga Congo now to back up Kyle Pitts, and I'm really happy about that right now.
I can't believe it. Chigga Congo.
Shit happens, man. What can you do? Shit happens. I'm excited in Dynasty for the 2026 rookie draft. I don't give a shit about next year's draft, because I drafted a bunch of kids that are like 22, 23 anyway.
Right.
So I'm not looking towards next. Like,
honestly,
these 2 years, I'm gonna figure out what these kids are.
That's why I was okay with trading all these first round picks to this this particular league, because I was happy with the way I drafted. That a lot of the guys, I have a good mix of old and young guys, and now with the trades, it makes it even better.
Right.
So I mean,
I went young with my team this year, so I'm looking at the 2025 draft, and the only pick I have left from that draft is the 2025 first.
Yeah, and then in our experience, we've gotten crazy gems in the 3rd and 4th round of our rookie drafts.
Yeah,
I mean, Oscar drafted Laporta in the 4th round, so
yeah, and with my strategy and how I kind of just go with the flow, I can always trade myself
crazy.
back
I got
into
him in
the
the 4th
2025
round
draft.
I didn't
if I
see
need
that
to.
happen. Yeah.
So
I didn't see Laporta being what he was, though. I mean, shit, I picked up Laporta.
Best tight end.
Yeah, the best tight end
option.
I picked up Laporta at East Coast Championship off of waivers week 1, bro. He wasn't even drafted.
I was drafting him everywhere,
bro. Waiver wire.
I saw the preseason, and I was like, this guy is going to be a problem for defenses. Like, it didn't matter who's golf throwing the ball or the backup throwing the ball. They were all throwing the Laporta.
Yeah.
Golly.
So I was like,
Boston Red Sox got the bases loaded, 8-5 right now against Philadelphia Phillies. Dominguez is up. Right now, we're talking about the value of potentially the best tight end in football. Laporta,
go ahead and tag. I dare you.
Who, at any given moment, can give you 3 touchdowns a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the wide receiver 2 of the Detroit Lions offense. This is a pro Lions podcast. If you haven't noticed, like we're always. Yeah, for their offense.
Yeah, because
we don't trust J-Mo yet. Like
number 12 is officially retired in New England.
Brady
happened, right? Yeah.
Roger Kraft promises that no one will ever wear that number again.
So apparently, the reason why they did it today is because today's date is 6/12, and his number obviously is 12, and he won 6 rings with the Patriots. So today was the day that they had to be induction.
Worked out perfectly for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
Is that the guy I have? Oh, that is the guy I have. I need him to get a hit right now.
Hamilton?
Yep.
My boy Duran got me a hit. It's been a hitting party against Oscar.
Hamilton's been having a hell of a week.
My team's in a little slump right now. We were hot, very hot for a couple weeks.
Damn.
I've been hot since week 2.
All my batters have.
All 4 of my closers got a save today.
Damn. What the hell?
That's efficient. All 4 of my closers.
I might have to start making trades because I got to do something before I get too far back.
You're in second. in our division. Right now, you're going to be plummeting down the charts after this week.
Oh, thank God for my starting.
I still got time.
Mikey's going to end up taking second place in
3 of my
Division
pitchers
One.
are starting tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're the good division. We're like the division in college football that has Bama all those teams.
All of us in our division would be in first place in the other division.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. And the last place team in our division will only be a couple games out of first place.
No
Yes,
plata,
he'd be in
no
second place
plumo.
in that division.
No
plata, no plumo. Not this week. It's 11-0. That matchup is 11-0 as we speak.
Mine is 12-0 at the moment. Yours is 11-0. You've got Muddy Waters over Sign My Hat 7-4. King of Crash against the Diamond Dominators 8-2 right now.
Oh my God! I thought he just hit a home run. I was about to go
No,
shit. Like, yeah, Matthew, fuck you.
Yeah, that would have been a grand slam too. That would have been an F you to Matt and F you to the Phillies. Grand slam, 4 RBIs. Like,
and he's already 2 for 3 over there.
That's like in AC when you get all 3 of the bells. And shit just starts ringing, dog. Like, the shit just starts ringing. And then the Fighting Little Jimmies and Chris are currently in a close matchup, 5-4. These are your fantasy scores of the Sandlot Baseball Association as Dominguez gets himself out of the jam to go into the top of the 8th.
Down by 3
in Fenway. Red Sox versus the Phillies.
That was a nasty slider.
It was.
It's currently Yankees are in Kansas City up 8-1. Kansas City, you better be busy at the deadline because they're lacking the firepower. They'd actually be a good trade partner for us. Like, if we can get a deal done with them, we'll send Gleyber Torres out there to get one of the Kansas City. Get one of those young cats. Do something that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense for the Royals, though, because they're kind of in a buy situation. And Gleyber Torres isn't a buy situation, in my opinion.
Well, what's his situation? Like, he's going to need a contract next year anyway. You bring him in like as a DH just to make some contact, just to hit the ball.
They're saying that he's going to ask for like $100 million plus, bro.
From us?
From anybody who wants to.
Torres? He knows not to ask. Bro. He knows not to ask us.
That's why we want to even get away from. Just get him off the team now. Get what you can for him.
You know, our little brother.
I do know the Phillies are already starting to think about that post. They're trying to get ahead of it with Bohm, Stott. They're trying to start signing those guys now.
Yeah, they need to.
It's like earlier today, Julio said, "Is the Astros done?" I would say they are. The Astros had that run from 2017 to 2022.
Banging on trash cans. And
you're talking 5-6 years a run. That's what most teams that are built to win, their window is normally in baseball.
It's a little
5
longer,
to 6 years.
Yeah, but when it closes none the same.
Yeah,
and it closes quick.
The Phillies had that 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, and then that was it. 5 years.
Yeah.
The Yankees had that early 90s into the early 2000s, 5 years hit. That's in baseball. You got that 5-year gap.
Yeah.
If you can win a World Series in 5 years, then the plan worked.
And that's kind of the question right now for Baltimore as their window just opens. Is like 5 years from now, is Baltimore going to still be a juggernaut on the AL side?
Right moves.
You know what I mean? Like, are you going to survive, or is that window going to close on you? Mind you, the competition around you in that division, like the Rays and the Red Sox, will be back.
Rally House Philly. That's
right.
We're getting a Rally House Philly in the plaza out here in Millville.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but Baltimore needs pitching. They lost 2 starting pitchers, so they need pitching.
Yeah. There's still only 3 games out of
first.
Interesting
what the Mariners do.
Yeah.
They're another team like the Royals, where it's like that you can get into the playoffs potentially, but you need that extra.
And here's the other thing with the Phillies: like, you can't go this next month with Marchand and Stubbs. You got to make a move.
They make a move for a catcher.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that Remuto's coming back,
because even when he comes back, you're talking a knee catcher.
I know a torn meniscus isn't an ACL, but still, man, that shit hurts.
But that's again the whole Kyle Schwarber not being able to play the outfield. That hurts.
Yeah.
You need that bat in the lineup.
Phillies to score some fucking runs.
They're gonna put Soto in next inning. It's gonna get worse. Remember, I said that, kids.
Looks like the best record in baseball stays in the Bronx. Got a little bit of a lead on the Phillies. If anything, if this continues to
he just
hold out like this, I mean, you had one job, man. Take care of Boston in Boston.
2 or 3. I'm of a belief that you're not going to win every game. It's baseball. Secondly, your job's to take the series. 2 of 3, 3 of 4. That's what your job's to do.
It's hurting my parlay, but it's always a good day when the Yankees win and the Phillies do not. But yeah, right now your rubber match will be tomorrow.
And Nola's going on the mound. It's fine.
It's fine.
Should be.
It's fine.
Yo, how about Paul
Red Sox
Skeens
score
getting
runs.
a freaking standing ovation by an opposing team?
He's the future, man. He's the future of baseball. He's Randy
I
Orton.
don't really have a big problem with it, man.
I think it's cool.
I was shocked.
I think
I
it's
don't have
cool.
a big
They
problem.
tipped their hats to him. It was a close game
what?
at the time.
St. Louis is a very they're a very smart and appreciable fan base, and I think they just appreciate the sport of baseball.
They're a good baseball town.
Yeah,
They're a
they
good
really
baseball
are.
town.
And it's one of their last major league sports teams, and I think they're just they took it all in and they appreciated what they saw. And
He took the Rams from them and sent them back to LA, so that made them just go for the Cardinals even harder. On top of the fact,
What are you
that
swinging
the
at?
Cardinals are usually always good. Like the Cardinals dominated the Central for 20 years.
I know. I got into it in Twitter today.
This is their first down year.
With Andrew Filipponi.
The Cardinals.
He put a poll. Who's going to have a playoff win before? Who's going to get the first playoff win amongst these two? The Pirates or the Steelers? I said, Pony, the Pirates got to make the playoffs first, bro. So knock it off.
Oh, so it became a Pirates versus Steelers.
Yeah.
Because you have no allegiance to the Pirates, so you don't give a shit. You have nothing to protect.
I wouldn't mind seeing them win, but not at the cost of the Phillies.
Yeah,
it's because of your mom. You love your mom.
Yeah.
And you know that she loves her Pirates, so it's one of those family things.
Yeah, so
my
I'm never gonna.
First moved to the States from Puerto Rico. He was a big Pirates fan because of Clemente, and after he stopped playing and everything like that, he became a Phillies fan. But yeah, so if the Pirates ever won something, I'd tip my hat to him.
I don't mind the Pirates because I never watched them do anything.
Yeah, same.
I wasn't a part of their golden era.
I've been paying attention to baseball since I was about 5 years old, and I've never seen the Pirates be a good team.
Yeah, just one of those things where what I saw is what I believe they've always been.
Y'all were 3 years old when they were having their early 90s success.
Yeah, but according to the Uber driver in
oh my God,
that team was doing too much cocaine. They were
they
were partying.
If there was instant replay back in that 92 NLCS, Sid Bream would have been called out. He was gunned out at the plate, but there was no instant replay. But if you go back and watch that play, he got gunned out. The Pirates should have won that game, or at least tied. It should have won extra innings.
Yeah. What was this, World Series or
the NLCS against the Braves?
Okay.
Just for the Braves to go get shellacked by the Blue Jays.
Ooh, that's when the Blue Jays went back to back.
Yep.
Blue Jays went back to back on the Braves and Phillies.
The Braves got shellacked 2 years in a row. Once by Kirby Puckett and the Twins, and the following year by Joe Carter.
And that was Toronto's
Robbie Alomar.
That's why
John
they think they're hot
Olerud.
because they could say they went back to back in 92 and 93. And they wear their stupid little tuxedos when they hit home runs. We're taking this division from the Yankees. Look at them now.
It was Joe Carter. Who the hell was the other guy? Dave Winfield, I think it was.
They had a squad, dog. 2 World Series.
Yeah, they had Robbie Alomar, John Olerud, like I said, Carter,
John
Winfield.
And then in 94, it was the Braves. No. Was it the Braves?
There was no.
There was a lockout.
There was
Strike season. 95 was the Braves.
95 was the Braves in a shortened season.
Yeah.
No way. No, what?
Oh, nice grab.
96.
Up against the Green Monster.
96 is the Yankees. 97 was the Marlins.
Oh, in 96, people forget that the Atlanta Braves were up on us 2-0 in the World Series.
Then 98, 99, and 2000 was y'all, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Y'all won it 3 years in a row?
96, 98.
Y'all swept the Padres.
We beat
Didn't
the
y'all
Braves.
sweep the Braves?
I don't think we beat them in 5.
We beat them in 5.
Beat the Mets in 5. Beat the Braves.
01 was the 2000 was
Diamondbacks beat us in 7.
and 01 and 02 was the Angels.
Angels and Giants
That
was
went
a
to
weird
Game
World
7.
Series that nobody cared about, even though it went 7
I wasn't
games.
watching.
It was the year Barry
I'll
Bonds
be
broke
real.
the record, though. It was the season that Barry Bonds broke the home run
70
record.
home runs.
Giants went to the World Series that year. The Angels eliminated us that
03
year.
was the Marlins. 04 was the Red Sox.
05 was the White
I was
Sox.
so
White
angry. I didn't
Sox.
watch that World Series at all. I was so angry that we lost to the Angels. Like, bro, who the
06
fuck
was
are
the
the
I
Angels?
was
06 was the
confused by
Astros?
it.
No.
I was shocked.
Honestly, yeah,
by it.
I guess I could say that.
'Cause
I was
I-
more confused by it.
I was still reeling from the
Damn, who was
Diamondbacks loss.
2006?
St. Louis. St.
yeah.
Louis Cardinals.
St. Louis. In 2007 was the Red Sox again, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo,
I was still traumatized from the Diamondbacks and what they did to us in Game 7. So the following year when we lost to the Angels, I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're supposed to go back and avenge
Yeah. I couldn't
what just happened. So that was the first, like, as a Yankee fan, like, that was the first time for me where it was just like, these are bad years? Like, what's happening right now? Like, why are we not in the World Series? And then we go against the spunky Florida Marlins, who were taking everybody out on that side. They took out the Cubs, so everybody thought the Cubs were finally going to break their curse that year. We go back and we lose in 7 to the freaking Marlins, who, like, they were like small balling us to death too. Like,
that shit pissed me off.
Like, it was
The
a different
Marlins
formula
pissed me
in
off.
2003.
Beckett was a monster in the World
Beckett,
Series.
Dontrell Willis, Josh
Fucking
Beckett owned
Dontrell
us
Willis,
that
bro.
year.
Willis's
owned us.
fastball and slider killed us, bro.
And that was the Marlins winning 2 World Series in a span of 6 years, because they won it in 97 against Cleveland, which was another crazy World Series. And
The following year broke me as a fan. That losing to Boston the way we
04,
did.
yeah, 04 was worse than
Yo,
it was a
y'all
rough time.
Yankee fans
It was a
were
rough time.
That
celebrating in the streets after that
It was
18 to
3-0. It
whatever.
was 3-0. There was nothing to think
You
about.
couldn't tell
Like,
me shit, bro.
Then you
I
lose
was-
that first game, y'all like it
I
doesn't
was
matter.
13 years old on the top
When did-
of my
When
life
did
as
it
a
start to
sports
sit
fan.
in? Like,
Game 5. When the Red Sox came out in Game 5 and started putting up the runs on us right away
Yeah,
after
game
winning the
5
last
had me
game,
fucked up.
I was like, we need to close this out
Yes.
as quickly as possible. And they came out and did it again in Game 6.
Oh,
and
my
I was just
God.
like, yo.
And I'll never
They're gonna
forget
beat
watching
us.
losing
the
game
bloody
7.
sock.
I had faith in Game 7. I still
I
believe.
did. No,
in
Game 7, I still believed, bro. And when we lost,
And
I'm
then
in
the
my
game
living
started.
room
Yeah.
crying, bro, crying. And my grandfather's like, "What are you crying for? They didn't pay your bills." And I'm like, "I don't have bills. I'm 13."
I don't have to worry about bills like you. Let me deal with this.
Yeah,
my way.
man.
Like,
What are you talking about? They don't pay your bills.
He just walks
You
up to
pay
you.
my bills, man. I'm 13.
Slam the door. I don't even know what bills are.
Yeah,
These
like,
are my
what the
bills.
hell?
Just kick me while I'm down. Why don't you?
Oh, dude, I was sick, bro. I was so broken as a fan. So
My big heartbreaks were Diamondbacks 2001. Like, I'm talking about the heartbreaks where, like, I walked out of the room because it was like my lip was trembling. Diamondbacks 2001. When the Raiders trashed us in the AFC title game, 42-24, 2002. That was another one. That was another one. It might have been to do with the Yankees, but those two from the rip. Oh, the Houston Rockets missing 27 3-pointers in a row against Golden State Warriors after being up 3-2.
Where all they had to
that
do
goes
was
up into the
why
top
not
three.
just go shoot twos?
Yeah, those were the
Because
top.
if they foul you and you score the 2, you still have an opportunity to have a 3-point play.
Houston Warriors, that one didn't make me cry. I was at that point, I'm an adult. I'm already traumatized enough to where it's like I see it happening and I just stay quiet and just watch it happen. But yeah, Diamondbacks 01, Raiders 02. It was a rough stretch, my teenage years.
That series against Boston was the last time I cried over a sports team. Honestly, that was my most broken moment
can't remember.
as a sports fan. The Giants has given me joy for the
I've
most part.
sat there and looked at the screen in silence, just looking at the TV screen. Like,
There was a lot of those moments.
01,
looking at the screen in silence.
2001 AFC Championship game, just sitting there like, wow.
When the Giants lost to
2004
the Ravens,
AFC Championship game.
You weren't sweating the Giants losing to the Ravens? When they put the shellacking on them?
So 2 reasons. One, I wasn't fully invested into football at the time.
Okay. It
And
wasn't
2,
the same pain yet.
Yeah, it wasn't the same pain.
It wasn't going to feel
Like
the
if
same yet.
I had the same type of feel for the Giants now back then, I'd probably give it the edge to the Giants. But no, and the other reason is that I knew that Ravens defense was just so unstoppable.
Buzzsaw. They were doing that to all of us.
Yeah, no, I couldn't.
They did that to all of us.
I couldn't be that mad.
The 2000 Ravens.
2000 Ravens team.
They beat us
I hated
24 to
them.
10.
Yeah, no, I couldn't be that mad.
We were one of the best offensive and defensive
We were the
teams
last
in
team to
football.
beat
Number
them.
1 seed that year. You were the number 1 seed on the other side, so they took out both 1 seeds.
We were the last team to beat them,
That's
and
crazy.
that score of that game was 7-6.
Wow, that's insane.
Even when
Cordell
you beat them,
Stewart.
you just couldn't.
Cordell Stewart threw a 45-yard touchdown pass to Hines Ward, and we just destroyed their offense. All like Jamal Lewis couldn't run on us, and because of that, like, did you think Tony Banks was beating us?
Tony Banks.
That wasn't happening. After that game, Banks got benched for Dilfer.
And then they went on their run. That's magical.
That's
dude.
why I
That's
kept saying,
crazy.
man, if we played them in the playoffs, we could have beat them.
The difference between keeping Tony Banks in there and putting in Dilfer Dimes is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
For a team that
Because they knew that
Yes.
defense can win them the Super
Yeah,
Bowl. They just needed somebody a little bit more
they
confident.
knew
in
they were
quarterback.
offensively challenged.
Yes.
They knew that their defense was going to be doing all the grunt of the work.
Yes.
A pick six at that point in time for them was huge
Yes.
because they knew, like, we can stop them from scoring and we have the lead. Oh, it's what? It's 7-3. We have the lead. We can
That's it.
close it out with
Yeah,
a field
that's it.
goal.
We know they're not going to get it.
Like, that's how good that defense was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one too when we lost to them in 2001 because it was just like
Those Patriots AFC
Ravens,
Championship games.
the Ravens and McNair throws two. One pick was McNair, the other one was on Eddie George because it got ripped out of his hands. But it was just like
Ray Lewis.
that was the dagger too because he takes it and he houses it and it's just like
That was
It's
another
10
reason why it was hard for me to get into the football in 2000s also because the Patriots just started winning and I hated Boston.
Oh, I
teams.
got
was
some
like, what the
runs.
fuck?
Glaber 3-run bomb, 11-2 Yanks,
Nice.
Bombers
Nice.
are bombing,
I
and
looked at my GPA like this. Man.
definitely was the
Oh.
Diamondback series. Oh, you feel my pain with the Diamondback series, Chris. That was traumatizing, dog. With Mariano on the mound. Oof. We could do a whole episode dedicated to the worst heartbreaks in sports for us. Like, because there's so many.
I know my dad has
real
some good
moments.
stories. Like he hated that Diamondback series. I know he talks about that.
We all hated it. It's like we lost to the freaking Diamondbacks, bro.
Yeah.
On a 4-peat. Like
Fucking Biggio, bro.
the one time where after winning 3 in a row, you say to yourself, "We got this one in the bag." You know, the Mets made you think a little bit because it was just like until we saw them and how we handled them. You know, they did take one of the 5 matchups, but you know, going into the World Series, like the Mets, they had finally beaten the Atlanta Braves that year, so they got that monkey off their back. The Braves had owned them for years, so it's just like the Mets got kind of that weird energy of like underdog. But with the Diamondbacks, I didn't see it coming though.
Bro, he's taking
I don't
shots
blame
to
you.
get fouls, and it's just not working.
Luka
I
Doncic.
hate when players do that shit. Like just play your game, bro.
Magic running out for them has it's currently 69-61. Boston only up 8 with 6 minutes left in the third. As we close out another edition of On the Money
RJ said
podcast.
the Knicks
here.
shot their load. The Mavericks really shot their load. Shot their load way too early.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the NBA playoffs this year, and
This is what we
It's-
expected from this series, though.
I think we're just finally witnessing the Boston Celtics closing
I
out.
didn't expect this, man.
I did.
Fuck that.
We asked them to do it, and they're doing it. They're closing out.
I mean, Boston is they're.
I will
proving
say they're not
themselves.
winning because of Tatum, though.
No,
They're winning
no.
because of Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and the good boys.
And you know what's crazy is about that? If you look up on the odds before the game anyway.
Oh yeah, Tatum's the
Tatum
MVP
lead-
favorite.
Yeah, bro, that's just so weird. I'm like, what the hell?
There's probably more money in betting on Jaylen Brown,
10-point game.
but
Yeah,
Jaylen
but why would
Brown's
you-
going to have
As Vegas,
like
you don't want everybody winning your money. You want Jaylen Brown as the top runner-up, like the top guy.
yeah. Jaylen Brown's going to have an out of body type of game. But he has been their MVP up until this point, though. Like it's
Mhm.
undeniable what he's been doing for this basketball
And,
team.
and honestly, if KP don't get hurt, he might be the MVP
Yeah.
of this finals.
Yeah,
Kind of feel bad for KP, not gonna lie.
that's rough, man. Another injury, but
This just shows Mavs still need more. Oh, they need plenty more.
yeah, absolutely. By this time next week for the podcast, this finals is going to be over,
Yep.
most likely.
Yep.
The Boston Celtics will have finally closed after we
Mavs need a
have asked
true
them to do it.
two-way.
I mean, they better close.
You
You imagine these guys come back. You imagine Boston blows this
that would
series,
be
man?
epic.
How crazy would that be?
I
Boston
wonder what
blows this
Eric
series?
would say. I was like, "Oh, we let them." It's like, "Yes, you did. You did let them come
Oh,
back.
we didn't want to win it this year. We'll come back next year.
We wanted a sample of the finals, and we'll come back. Now that we know what we're up against, we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna win it, and that's gonna be the. He's very creative.
Yeah,
He's
I'll
very,
give him that.
He's very creative with the excuses he builds for his team.
Yeah, because they almost don't sound like excuses. They sound like legit,
Yeah.
valid facts. But at the same time, it's like, bro, did you really just say that?
Yeah. You got to read what he says twice.
Yeah.
To process it.
Straight up.
Like, did you just try to get away with that, or was that an actual fact? And then
Eric is a very savvy shit talker.
Yeah, savvy. That's what
They wanted to
word.
give KP
Savvy.
more time.
Savvy. Yeah, the
Wide
giving
open.
KP more time is classic.
You better rebound that.
We all make good takes.
If you're the
bad
Mavs
takes,
right now,
that's
it's
the beauty of this.
71-65. I would not be trying to attempt any stupid 3-point shot. Just keep getting 2
That's
points.
the name of the NBA now, bro. It's so
It's a 2-on-5 right now. It's become a 2-on-5. Kyrie jump shot.
Look,
it just doesn't work.
You know, that's so weird, bro. I think that's so weird. How a guy
it's a
can
good
be
take,
so
it just doesn't
hot.
work.
And
Luka's
that's
bad.
That shot drops for him like 90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good take. There's nothing you can do about that.
Oh, that's on Boston.
Questionable call, but Boston has the rock already, so it don't even matter. Foul on Kyrie Irving. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Next week, more news on OTAs. One step closer to, getting deeper into the baseball
Every
season.
passing week, man. We're about almost 75 days now away from the NFL starting.
Yep. Potential trades. Kyrie did go ice cold. Potential trades that could happen in the NFL. What can happen? What will happen? What will we have ready for next week's podcast?
They're letting them be a little
tuned
physical.
into AB's Twitter because apparently he has all the tea.
He knows what's going to happen before anybody else does. He's the Meltzer of football.
CTESPN.
And how will these trades impact the value of the players on your dynasty football teams? Will the stock be up next week or down on some of the names that we keep hearing about over the summer in some priority spots across the league?
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, man. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, as always, Chris, Terrell, Paul, thank you guys for the feedback tonight. Some great conversation.
Man, always love.
And guys, peace out. See you at the same time, same place next week.